welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of these, YoungYakov of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 23. I'm, of course, Show's Live VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to your bi-weekly dose of CranKy Duckling action. This tournament is open to all regions. Open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes, is at a more NA/Korean friendly time zone. So if you're in the land of Europe, if you're in the land of Europa, if you're watching right now, get some rest. And thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's quite late in the land of Europe, and this event does go deep and late into the night, which is also why we appreciate the European players that actually stay up and compete in tournaments like this. Speaking of, we have them for you here and now. We have our first series spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing his new team, Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nikorat. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as we are here in the quarterfinals. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is stacked. The bracket is small this week. It is a small bracket, but it is high quality nonetheless. We have amazing players here to feature tonight. We'll get into the bracket after this series. For now, we're focusing on our TVP. Let us go. Also, for those that are curious, of course, we are on the PTR as always. Over the past couple of months, we have been hosting our events exclusively on the PTR, specifically our Turtle Tussles and our Tuna Cups as well. They've been on the PTR, on the new maps, on the new balance proposed changes as well. Just trying to provide as much feedback, as much data, as much action on the PTR as we can. Not just ourselves, but most of the other open cups as well. They've all followed suit, they've all jumped in, they've all been able to embrace it. But here we go. We are settling into game one. For now, Rax Expand. Rax Expand set up here by Nikorat. So far, a standard opener. I should say an economic opener by the Terran player. The probe is here to delay, to be as annoying as possible. Geralt is being a nuisance and will eventually be forced back. Ooh, as the SCVs will zone that away. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Geralt going for a gate expand. I should say gate cyber expand here. Standard opener out of Geralt. Economic opener out of Nikorat. As we do settle in, Geralt, he is going to be trying to be once again a bit of a nuisance, is going to try and get away. Right now the goal for Nikorat is he is hunting down that probe. He's looking for the worker as we speak. Does check further back behind the mineral line. I mean, there is a nice little alcove that you can take advantage of. Outside of that, the Reaper is on patrol here, is staying back at home. Meanwhile, the probe is kept hidden, trying to come in for another scout. Meanwhile, we have formation. Oh, as there is a little Roomba. Do love to see it, but we have confirmation further back in the main. Nikorat, what do we see? That is not a third TC. That is not a factory. That is not just one, 2 Raxes. It's a 3 Rax. 3 Rax here by Nikorat. Very aggressive build. Basically, this is all building up towards a stim timing. It's going to be a big stim timing here with Mass Marine, and we'll see how much damage Nikorat can get done. Likewise, we'll see if we can sneak out across the map. If you were here earlier this week, we casted Nikorat versus Trap. And Nikorat popped off. He forced the ace match. Didn't take the series, but he did bring Trap to his knees. And how did he take a map? How did he take a game off of Trap? With this build, with 3 Rax, with a 3 Rax Master Marine stim timing, he was able to bypass Trap's main army. He was able to skirt around across the map, able to move out unscattered, and caught Trap with his pants down. The pants were down. The pants were down. That was earlier this week in the War TV Monday, if I remember correctly. But for now, we're focusing on our follow-up here. We're focusing on our current game. It is going to be a Twilight Council. Twilight Council with the Blink from Geralt is working towards Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, we have his opponent, Nikorat. He did scout. Yeah, he did scout. He did confirm with the Reaper. He is fully aware of the tech of choice, and that will force a Marauder transition. If this was a Stargate opener, then we'd see more Marine. Because it's Blink Stalker, that's what we need Marauder. Marauders, they do a great job here at locking down Stalkers, at trading against them. Marines tickle Stalkers. Marauders, they just chew them down. They really do trade very efficiently against them. So that does kind of trigger the transition here for Nikorat. It's still 3 Rax, but slightly different as he does adapt. does adapt to his opponent. Adept's going to keep on shading in. Geralt is in the dark as to what's going on. We know what's happening, but Geralt is in the dark. For all he knows, he does see these Marines, but it could be a 2-on-1. It could be a 3cc, 3 racks as well. True, it could also be that variation. So there are a couple of different possibilities that Geralt is trying to piece together. He does at least pick up a Marine here or there. His goal here is to slow down and, more importantly, scout the push. He needs to know when the army moves out, so he knows when to be ready. Already, Safety Sentry. Safety Sentry back at home. Ooh, is going for the Hallucination Scout. Because of the energy overcharge, it should have energy for a force field as well. This is something that was a little bit dicey in the previous patch. If you go for a Hallucination Scout, it means you have no force fields or you have limited force fields, and then the army can pop up. Now, in the current patch or in the new proposed patch, with the energy overcharge, you can do both. You can do both, so very nice. He gets a full scout of the main. He knows exactly what's going on, and Geralt should be getting ready. There we go. He moves out with the Stalkers. As we did mention, he needs to slow the army down and maybe even force a stim. Up. He wants a Marauder. He gets it. One Marauder goes down. A massive pickoff. Oh, and he's going to knock down those rocks. The rocks are under fire. Alas, there's a first stim. Stim is used. The Stalkers, they get away. The third base is going to be denied. Killing the pylon, but the Stalkers do survive. This is still nice damage, though, by Nickrat, and he hasn't really lost much of anything. He lost one Marauder so far. Bleeding out a couple of Marines. He stims in once again. But he cannot push up this ramp. And he picks up a couple of Stalkers. 2 Stalkers, almost 3 Stalkers go down. But you see here, he doesn't go up the ramp, otherwise he would be force fielded. He's going to trade, gets another Stalker. And he tries to get the hell out of here. But he's going to be chased down. We do see he is cleaned up. Geralt, he does still expand, but this is going to be a much later third base for Geralt, but he's rallying across the map. Massive counterattack here from the red Protoss player back at home. No bunker. Uh-oh. The bunker was salvaged, so Nickrat is a little bit more exposed, but he does catch the Stalkers. Ooh, he gets one. Late reaction out of Geralt. He does blink away, but he does lose one. With that, Nickrat, he's holding on. Building up more bio, getting into his 3-1-1 setup, factory into starport, into double medevac production. With the arrival of these medevacs, now Nickrat, he can stim more freely, he can move out. Speaking of, he does clash in with the Stalkers. Tries to catch him, but alas, Geralt, he does blink away in time. One more Stalker goes down, another Stalker goes down, concussive shell coming into play. And these are pretty brutal pickoffs here. Despite the blink-based opener of Geralt, he has bled out a lot of Stalkers over time. He's lost 6 Stalkers already. Doesn't sound like a lot, but ideally in this matchup, you want to build up your Stalkers over time. You know, imagine this army, but imagine instead of 3 Stalkers, 9. 9 Stalkers instead. Suddenly you can contain your opponent. Suddenly you can threaten the bases, threaten the main base, pick off the medevacs. Would be a different story here. But Nickrat, he has done a good job at picking off those stray units here and there. And now he's moving out. Now the medevacs have arrived. Behind this, we do see, ooh, 2 more racks. My apologies, I should have taken note earlier. I saw the buildings producing earlier, buildings building even, and I just assumed they were the E-bays, but no, the E-bays were thrown down a little bit further towards the left-hand side. This is looking like a 2-base all-in. Basically, Nickrat, he made a choice. He could have thrown down a 3rd CC or 2 more Raxes, and it's 2 more Raxes without add-ons. It is going to be a 2-base. Oh my god, 2-base all-in. The Storms! The Storms do connect. Massive connections here on Nickrat. He takes them to the face. And Nickrat, he's losing a lot of momentum here. The wind has been taken out of his sails. And there's 2 more Storms. And 2 more Storms behind this. A very narrow choke point as well. The bridge is... we can't get through that. Nickrat going to skirt around the edge. He is spotted by the Zonaga. Geralt, he does respond. Does react. I believe the Prism may not have been seen there by Nickrat. Still trying to be active. Oh! There's still another Storm. Gets High Templar! Storm still goes up, but every High Templar is going to be going down. Nice snipes there from Nickrat. Does take a Storm to the face, but he can stim in. He stims in, he catches 1, he catches 2 Marauders. Massive pickoffs, 2 Immortals, I meant to say. At the same time, War Prism into the main. Nickrat, he's committed. Remember, he is 2-base all-in. There's another Storm, though. Oof. Oh, God. The army is deep in the red. 1 more Storm, and so much of this can go down. War Prism going back in, but this time Nickrat, he notices. Yeah, he's ready for it. Prism is going to fall, but not before the Warpin finishes. Just in time. Warpin does complete, but there are reinforcements back at home. Nickrat should defend, but he actually turns everything back around. Oof. Does turn around, is bleeding out some SCVs. Now with losing that War Prism, though, I mean, there's nothing keeping Nickrat back. There's nothing keeping him pinned. Now he can focus on his push. Geralt is taking a 4th base. Geralt, he lost most of his High Templar. Checking here when it comes to his army composition. Okay, he has 4 High Templar. That's potentially at least 4 Storms. 2 Immortals. He does have an army to work with. Has Nickracht given him too much time? Tower was knocked down. Nickracht moving out. He does spot the army. Oof. A Brutal Storm. Oh my god! He stays in the storm a little bit too long. That was an insane storm there on the Marines. But the 4th base is going to be cancelled. Cancels the 4th. Catches out some of these Zealots. Geralt not quite in position, going for his own Zealot run by. 3rd base on location. This is a very late 3rd from Nickracht, and it's not going to finish. Yeah, it's going to be cancelled. Clearly, the game has gone on too long, and Nickracht, he wants to try to get out of this all in, but he's still in it. Like, he's punished. He's still all in. And the longer this goes on, the worse it is for the Terran. Nickracht, he scans, he spots the High Templar. Medevac's getting caught out. Bio army does get up the ramp, but doesn't get much done. Again, there's just not enough bio here. Takes off a couple of Zealots, drop in the main base. Depowers 3 gateways, not bad. Not bad at all. Gets a gateway, gets a Twilight Council. Gets the hell out of there. Again, these pickoffs aren't bad, but the problem is that, again, pushing into all these High Templar, into all these Storms is not going to be easy. And Medevac's getting caught out as well. Nickracht, he's gotten into Ghost production. Still no 3rd base. At this point, it's too late. Like, at this point, there's no shot expanding and getting a 3rd. Towers are being knocked down. This is delaying Nickracht even further. But he does have those ghosts. Oh, Disruptors on the way. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, now there's a chance. The supplies are still neck and neck. Of course, the army supply is in favor of Nickracht, but it comes down to the EMPs. If he can EMP these High Templar... Well, the Storm... Storm does not really connect. Nice dodge there from Nickracht. He picks off 1 High Templar, going for another, gets 2. 2 High Templar go down. Much more efficient trades here by Nickracht. There's 2 High Templar left, sorry, 4 left. EMP does connect. 1 Storm lands. Nickracht knocking down those rocks. There's soon to be 1 more... Yeah, there's 1 more Storm. Never mind, 2 more Storms. Oh my god! They stack. Oh, another Storm. They don't stop. The Storms keep coming. There's Astrea coming first around. GG gets called as Nickracht, he gets locked down. And Geralt, he survives. He takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. There were definitely some strong moments there for Nickracht. Definitely some strong moments where he did have momentum in his favor, where he was getting damage done. I do think that a big moment, though, if you recall, was the War Prism. Remember the War Prism into the main base? It didn't get too much damage done. I mean, it killed like 6 SCVs, but it delayed reinforcements, and it also actually forced Nickracht back, and that was the moment that Geralt needed to buy time, to buy breathing room, because if you remember, it was just before that War Prism got into the main, where Geralt lost 2 Immortals and lost all of his High Templar. He lost all of his high-tech units. Like that was the moment then and there for Nickracht to try to end the game. But Geralt bought time, he got some breathing room, he was able to stabilize from there, and then he was looking quite comfortable. From that moment with that GG, or I should set up. There we go. GG, Geralt does take a lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Whew. Getting into game 2. And game 2 is going to be on Snowpiercer. So you just had SCCT race. Oh, it's been updated. Catching up. I feel like he's been improving so much within the past 2 years or so I kind of thought it was even younger. Yeah, Geralt has been around for a while, but he has been improving a lot over the past couple of years. Like, when I think of Geralt, I feel like Geralt's rise to fame was around 2020. I mean, a lot of these players. I'm referring to Geralt, Nickracht, Wayne, YoungYakov, like a lot of these like younger European players. A lot of them did rise up kind of during the era of COVID, like 2019, 2020, and they have been improving. All of them have been improving so much over the past couple of years. And yeah, we'll see if they can keep going. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Snowpiercer, we have the red Brodos player representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Geralt. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicorette. Yeah, the perception of time is kind of wild because in my mind these are newer players, but like it's still been like 4 years, right? You know, Nicorette, Geralt, YoungYakov, these guys, they were kind of like the generation that, like, the legacy of the Void generation, right? Like, they weren't necessarily around competing in Heart of the Swarm, you know, with players like Nurtio and Snoot or anything like that. So they're still younger, but you know, it's time has been progressing. It's it's crazy. It's crazy. It was funny though, last week when we were casting YoungYakov and he changed his name to Old Yakov, and we have been joking about, like, you know, when does YoungYakov age up? And then I checked and I think YoungYakov is still like 21, right? Isn't he like still in his early 20s, like 21, 22? It's like, oh my god, it's crazy. Quickly checking. Yeah, YoungYakov, sorry, he's 20. Jesus. Ay, ay, ay. Which means, yeah, we were probably casting him when he was like 16. Crazy. Especially we were casting YoungYakov like back in, yeah, like 2020, so. Ay, ay, ay. But here we go. Here we go. We do see it, Nicorette moving out. Does get eyes on the opener here. Speaking of the opener, double gas opener, which means a racks into factory. It means delayed CC. This I was not expecting on Snowpiercer. As we load into game 2, Snowpiercer is a much larger map, much more macro oriented, so I would have assumed that we would have seen a faster CC. Oh, as we do come in and check. Oh, is there a bug? As Hallucination moves out, it does get a full scout of the main and does get eyes on what's going on. So we do settle in. But yeah, I do apologize if he's referring to a bug that I'm not aware of. As for now, Geralt, he is looking solid. For now, we do have our Twilight Council on the way. Additional gateways as well. It's going to be what looks to be 3-gate Blink Stalker out of Geralt. There's 2 gateways at the natural, 1 gateway in the main, so 3-gate Blink. Something very safe, very secure. Nicorette, he does commit in though. Shield battery is done. And with the help of the shield battery, yeah, we do see that Geralt, he can hold on. Does have a force field as well, if need be. There's a force field. Geralt is holding. He's holding on up. Oh, the army tries to dive in. Another force field. Reapers, they get locked into the natural. Another force field. All the force fields. 1 probe goes down, but a nice defense here by Geralt. We'll clean this up. Not without losing 2 probes, but that could have been much worse. The power of the energy overcharge. Behind this, if you notice something, we are missing a key production building here. No starport. The reason for that, this looks like a 2-base all-in. This looks like a 2-base all-in once again out of Nicorette. Clearly a very different kind of 2-base all-in. This is designed to move out with stim, but also with tanks. We're getting to early tank production here, and most likely this is going to coincide with pulling the boys. Most likely the boys are going to be pulled with this, and it's going to be all or nothing. As the Bio army is building up, I would imagine that Nicorette wants to move out with 3 tanks alongside Stim. And again, it's a bold move for Nicorette to embrace this kind of build here on Snowpiercer. Geralt moves out. Geralt, of course, has map control. He goes for the Hallucination Scout into the vein. This Hallucination will confirm everything. And, I mean, again, this is a byproduct of the change to the overcharge. Now, because of the NG overcharge, Hallucination Scouts are a lot more common, a lot more viable. Affordable, even. All things above. With that, he sees all 3 Raxes, sees the factory, sees the lack of starport. He should know now it's a 2-base all-in. Should piece it together. Is looking to dive into the main. Main army looking to move out. Greg's trying to keep up. I'm going to see if the boys are going to be pulled or not. Stalkers, 8 damage. Oh, they deny combat shields! Combat shield's going to be denied. At least it's not stim. If it was stim, I mean, that could be game. As the boys are being pulled, workers are going down. Nickrat, he commits. He has to. Stim is done in 5 seconds. And again, if stim was denied, I mean, that would have been it then and there. Jesus. As the army can always recall back home, SCVs are falling. And it's all or nothing for Nickrat. Back at home, we have a second shoe battery on the way. Geralt, he now realize how much danger he's in. But is this a late realization? The tanks are here. Gateway's going to be falling. Immortal will pop out. But we need those stalkers. Again, they're still busy across the map. I mean, most of them went down. 2 gateways do fall. We have a gateway explosion on the way, but Geralt, he has no reinforcements. The rope is going to fall. And Nickrat, he may have just done it. He's came with the production. Again, what is there in the main? This is 1 gateway. Geralt, he can warp in 1 stalker at a time. And the lack of production is going to kill him. We have more gates on the way, but it's not going to be enough. Natural goes down, and Nickrat, he keep going. Send it, Pappy, send it. He can keep going. The gateways are still on the way. He scans up the rim. He sees how vulnerable Geralt is. The army is overstinned, but he stims, and he wins. He's getting on top of the production. Tanks will siege. Yeah, these gateways, they're not going to finish. Yeah, they're not going to finish in time. 2 gateways are denied. And there's barely going to be another warp in. You can see here, Geralt, he has 1,000 minerals in the bank. But he just cannot spend his money. The main base goes down. And it looks like we're going to the ace match. Looks like we're going all the way. Get the Cybercore as well. Geralt trying to go for a base trade. I mean, what else can he do? He knows he cannot fight this army. Charge is being cornered. Let's go. Hoping to force some friendly fire. I mean, Geralt, he does have more production abilities. He does have 1 base mining. True. Ooh, charge does complete just in time. Okay, hold on. This base... Nah, no shot. I was like, if there's nothing at home, there's plenty at home, mate. Plenty. Stalkers do go down. Nickrat, he stims in. And GG gets called. We are going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. As we're getting into the ace match here. And again, like, this was an interesting choice by Geralt. Remember, Geralt, he did scout the all-in with his hallucination. He saw the production. He could piece it together, but he chose to kind of force the all-in by diving into the main. Again, ideally, he wanted to force Nickrat back home, and he did have a bold move diving on that upgrade. And I do think that there might have been a different outcome if he had denied stim. It was a gamble, right? It was a gamble. You know, 50-50, which tech lab does he go for? Denied combat shields in the end. It's hard to say just because, I mean, there was such an overwhelming Marine, Marauder, tank army. Even if stim had been denied, maybe like the Bio army still overwhelms anyway. It's very likely. Very likely that would have happened. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Whew. Nickrat does tie this up, and we are going to game 3. Going all the way to game 3. And game 3 is going to be on Whispers of Gold. Oh boy. And as we get into the ace match, I mean, Whispers of Gold is a much smaller map. Shorter rush distance by ground. Likewise, the 3rd base is also vulnerable. If we were to see a 2-base all-in, I would favor it here on Whispers of Gold. But the downside is, if you've been watching game 1 and game 2, Nickrat has gone for a 2-base all-in every game. Like every single game so far. I mean, it's been different builds and different variations, but all roads lead to Rome. It's been 2-base all-in time and time and time again. Does he do it 3 games in a row, or is this the map where he macros? I would assume that Whispers of Gold, I mean, again, like it does favor a more aggressive build. So on the one hand, I want to say like it can do well here, but on the other hand, like I feel like you have to respect Geralt enough that he is a good enough player. He is a good enough player, of course, that that he can read his opponent play safely and deal with the aggression coming his way. You know, fool me once, sort of thing. Shame on you. Fool me twice, never fool me again. So I'm not too fond of the idea of all-inning 3 games in a row specifically, right? That's where the mind games come into play. It's like, wait, but it's gonna work because he's not gonna expect me to all in 3 games in a row, right? Like, what are the odds? I'd have to be crazy to do that. And then he's crazy. Like, oh no. Oh no. Does he go for it? To play, it's like, wait, but catching up. Getting into that ace match, and here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can keep up with the aggression of his opponents, or whatever it happens to be. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, moving out with his first SCV. Let's go. Does move out across the map. We'll see if he does go for the eBay block or something more sinister. Oh, looking more sinister. We have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicaract. The SCV does move out, and there it is. We have the proxy. We do have our proxy racks being set up here across the map. Likewise, gases are being taken, and we'll see how hard Nicaract commits here. This could just be Proxy Reaper. And then you get a bunker on the low ground and you deny mining at the natural and just get a force your opponent into a delayed economy. On the flip side, this could be something more committed like Proxy Marauder. As gases are being taken, probe scouts are moving out across the map. We'll confirm that the Rax is missing. Without the second Rax back at home, I would imagine that this is just going to be Proxy Reaper. Just Reaper into that bunker. Probe has arrived. Yep, Reaper's on the way. Bunker soon thereafter. So this is not an all-in, but this is just, again, just an aggressive start here to try and disrupt the Protoss. See being as annoying as possible. Reaper's on the way. The initial Zealot is being forced out, so it looks like there won't be a bunker alongside this. I mean, if there was, the Zealot is almost done. Speaking of, SCV throws down the bunker, but Geralt, he is ready for this. So Zealot moves out to low grounds. We'll see if he can get on top of that SCV. Oh, the SCV! SCV goes down! SCV goes down to the probe, forces a cancel as well. Very nice defense. Didn't even need the Zealots. Didn't even need it. Reaper dives into the main, going for a second probe kill, and is forced out. Is going to be forced out. And so far, a decent setup here from Geralt. I mean, sure, like, he was forced to make a Zealot. True, he had to make a Zealot. He lost 2 workers, but at least he was able to shut down the bunker and minimize losses, minimize any denied mining time. Not looking too bad. So Geralt does defend. Probe across the map does confirm that there is going to be a CC on location. Checking Geralt's vision, he did not quite confirm. So Geralt's still trying to piece it all together. But soon he will with the Zealot and the Stalker. And can he even delay the CC? Oh. Yeah, the counterattack has arrived. There are 2 Reapers, but they're across the map. This is disastrous. As this CC, it might even be cancelled. It might even be cancelled here. Reaper sure they get 3 probe kills. That is nice, but that pales in comparison to a lost expansion. Hellions, they're halfway done. Boys, yeah, they have to be pulled. They have to be pulled. Reapers are racing back home. Oh, that CC is so low. Does go just settle for SCV kills. Gets 1. 1 worker goes down. And even though Nicaract does defend, and he will finish that natural, it is so delayed, and look at all that lost mine time. That was, what, 5 SCVs pulled off the mineral line. So very nice damage, and the CC is not going to finish! It's still not complete. Ay, ay, ay. The punish is real. And again, if the bunker had completed, then these Stalkers would have been stuck at home, right? They would have been stuck at home dealing with the bunker. This counterattack would have been delayed. Just everything going wrong here for Nicaract. Has to pull the boys once again. And Geralt does take a worker lead. 3rd Stalker has arrived. Hellions are being targeted. The CC, it's still not going to finish. Oh my god, he gets it again. He denies. Finally, it should complete here. I spoke too soon. 1 more second. What a mess. CC does finally finish here at the natural at what, the 4-minute 30 mark. As Geralt just trading as efficiently as possible, still rallying more Stalkers across the map. Behind this, getting into Blink. Pulls back the weakened Stalker. It's going to be a 3-gate Blink setup. And this is borderline game-ending damage. I'm afraid to look. It's been 9 SCV kills. Again, big delay here at the natural. Denied mining time. Killed Hellions. Nickrack behind this, getting to a 1-1-1, working towards Cloak Banshee. True. Cloak Banshees, they can do well for themselves. Another SCV kill. Jesus. SCV's going down. Banshee gets across the map. No detection. Uh-oh. No detection for Geralt. The game is getting chaotic. We're popping off, Pappy. Banshee goes into the main. There's the cloak. 0 detection. Nickrack, he's still in this. He's still in this game. He gets some breathing room. Tank has arrived. Now he's saturating the natural. Probes are falling left and right. The rovers are still in production. Finally, just finishing. That is still 9, 10 probes. 10 workers going down. And the Banshee lives. Banshee pulls away. And suddenly, I mean, that lead that Geralt had, he still has one, I will say. I do want to emphasize that Geralt, he's still looking quite comfortable. He has Blink, he has a good Stalker army. He's going to be counterattacking with a Warp Prism as well. Oh, we pull the boys. Nickrack, he pulls the boys, Pap. He's forced into an all-in. This time, it's not even a 2-base all-in. It's a 1-base all-in and no saturation at the natural. He's muling, I guess. But Nickrack knows that he's taken too many losses. It's all or nothing. Gets 2 Stalkers. Massive pickup. 2 Stalkers go down. Up. There is a shield battery. There is a shield battery behind this. The tanks are sieging up within range of the pylon. So the gateway's even. That is Nartos' pylon. Gateway's under fire. Remember, there's only 3 gateways now. It's going to be knocked down to 2. 2 gateways, only 2 warp-ins. This was important in the previous game, and all the gateways are within range of the tanks. Oh. Now he's pushing in. He's going for the kill, going for the robo. Backup gateways on the way in the main. Stalkers, they're coming from behind. They collapse in for a full surround. They get 1 tank. They don't get the other. The other tank barely lives. Oh my god. 12 HP. The tank survives, and it looks like Nickrack, he has done it. He breaks the natural. The tank survives. 16 SCVs go, 16 probes go down. GG gets called, and Nickrack, he will take the series at 2-1. GG. Oh my god. Whew. GG, well played. Nickrack, he was able to break out. I mean, he was forced into an all-in. Nickrack, he had like 16 SCVs. He barely had any kind of economy, but at the same time, the Banshees, they were the MVPs there. I know that the final push did end the game, but the lead up to it, the Banshees, they were able to give Nickrack some breathing room. They were able to cripple the economy as well of Geralt, able to force him back home, and then Nickrack was able to move out unscouted, able to catch Geralt a little bit there with his pants down as he was not able to slow down the push. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Oh my god. Nickrack, he will advance on to the semifinals. My condolences to Geralt. It was a very close series, very close match, very aggressive, very chaotic. I mean, non-stop all-ins out of Nickrack. You could argue that here in the ace match, he was forced into it. True. Maybe that wasn't the initial plan, but regardless, GG. And with that, we are getting ready for the upper semifinals. We're getting ready for the upper semis here as we have some results coming in. Oh boy, we have some results. Give me a moment though to quickly set things up. Do need to get the match ready for us as vetoes are underway. Here we go. Alright, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. We have plenty of updates here. We have a lot to catch up on. From the top, we have ByuN. Or we have Lunacy. Lunacy gets a walkover over Honmono. Honmono was unavailable. ByuN does take the series though over Lunacy 2-0. ByuN is going to be advancing onto the semifinals to face off against Nicorect. Again, this week we have a bit of a smaller bracket, but the quality is there. A lot of very, very high quality players here, including ByuN, Lunacy, Honmono, Geralt, Nicorect. Out of them, though, we have a TBT in the upper semifinals. Scrolling down, though, we have the lower bracket matches. We have Rebellion. Rebellion, the Korean Protoss, takes down Mixu 2-0. Big win there for Rebellion. Now does advance on the face-off against Astrea in a PvP quarterfinals match. Meanwhile, scrolling down, we have Shameless. Shameless gets a walkover over Hatsu, and we have Shameless versus YoungYakov in a PvZ, also in the quarterfinals. Honestly, these two lower bracket matches look very spicy. They look very intense. Wish them both the best of luck. We are focusing on the upper semis, and then we will catch up on the lower semis, and then the grand finals. Oh boy. So again, it's going to be a bit of a shorter broadcast here tonight, but regardless, some intense matches nonetheless. More than happy to be here, more than happy to support these players. For those that are curious, a shout out to Stegosaurus, to Proto Stegosaurus, as he did boost the prize pool this week. Usually the prize pool is 150 USD, but this week it is 225 USD here, and we pay out top 4. Top four players do get paid out here in this tournament, so ByuN and Nicorect are already in the money. They're in the money. They're in the money. But the question becomes, I mean, who advances onto the grand finals? Who will make it? I mean, ByuN is going to be the favorite player. True, ByuN is the favorite player, but Nicorect does have some spicy TBT, very aggressive TBT as well. Can he cause an upset? I want to believe he can. ByuN is still favored, 100%. ByuN is still favored, but I want to believe that Nicorect, he can pop off and cheese the hell out of him. Maybe. We'll see. As those lower quarterfinals matches are currently underway. And we're catching up in the chat. We are catching up. Isn't it better for your opponent to assume you're crazy? Maybe. Are they right, though? That was a case of being brought down to the basement and being beaten with experience. True. It's one of those things where, you know, Nicorect, he likes being in those situations. He's like, mate, you're forcing me all in? I was born in the all in, papi. Molded by it. He likes it, papi. He likes it. Really, that was always the plan. It's like, mate, you want to delay my CC? You want to kill my SCVs? Okay. I didn't like him anyway. I was going to pull him. Smooch. It was all part of the plan. Mixu is out. Yeah. I should emphasize as well, that's a big win for Rebellion. I do favor Mixu against Rebellion, typically in the series. So, very surprising to see Rebellion take him down. Thankfully, we at least have some race representation for Zerg. Shout out to YoungYakov. Big shout out to YoungYakov. For taking part here alongside our other Protoss players down there. And it looks like we might, it looks like we might be going on a short break, though. We might be going on a short break here, and we're going to be going a short break. When we return, we will have our next series. We'll be back soon. We'll be back soon here with our semi-finals. Until then, take this moment, get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and we'll see you guys soon with ByuN versus Nicorect. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 23. We are back. We have returned. And if you're in the chat, best of luck. The Gamba is soon to be on us here, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Leylines, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Blue Terran player, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicaract. And if you're in the chat, the Gamba predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. Who will be the first to make it to the grand finals? Will it be one Terran player or the other? Best of luck. Best of luck. As for now, we are settling in. Do have our initial openers here. So far, mirrored builds. No crazy proxy Raxes. Not yet. Not in game one. Not in game one. So just catching up. Koreans are showing up often in these small events. That's true, that's true. We are missing out on Shin. Usually Shin is a regular in these events. When it comes to the Korean representation, it's like ByuN, Shin, and Nightmare are kind of like the players, and maybe Trap as well. The players are more active here, but this time, you know, there's no Trap, Nightmare, or Shin. ByuN is kind of the big, heavy Korean hitter here in this week's tournament, but there are other players here that can contest against him, definitely, I would say. Also, Solar. Solar did sign up for this week's tournament for the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, but Solar did not check in. Solar did not check in, so unfortunately, no Solar this time. I was excited though. I was like, yo, is Solar gonna play for the first time? Didn't check in. Smurge, man, smurge. No. Regardless, we are going to be settling into our game state here. Double gas opener out of ByuN. Likewise, double gas opener out of Nicaract. So far, so good. Reapers are moving out. Bold move here out of Nicaract. ByuN, he only scouts with his Reaper here at the third base location. He was looking for a proxy. He does not actually move out across the map, as it is deemed unsafe to do so in TVT. It is one of those illegal moves. Nicaract does take a chance though, does take a risk, and may even delay the natural CC. Oh! SCV goes down. Meanwhile, can Nicaract get out of here? The starter stepping is brutal, and the Reaper will escape. Nicaract, he does slip away. Again, it was a very risky maneuver. If he stuck around a little bit too long, then he would have lost this Reaper, and then things would have quickly snowballed in favor of ByuN. But Nicaract, he does get out. ByuN now going for his own counterattack. Nicaract building up his own Reaper Hellion, reacted Reaper Hellion actually, so he's committing here into a more aggressive start. Meanwhile, ByuN transitioning into something safer, into Cyclones. So Cyclone production out of ByuN, Reaper Hellion out of Nicaract. Here we go. So do see the double Reaper slipping into the main, going for the SCVs, gets one. Not bad, gets one, gets two. Nicaract out of position, he's racing back home. He's racing back into the main. Getting 5 SCV kills. 6 SCVs, oh my god, 6 SCVs go down. Ay, ay, ay. A brutal start. Yeah, and with that Nicaract's economy, it's looking a little bit lackluster here. In a mirror matchup, the pressure is on. The pressure is on Nicaract. He needs to counterattack here and now. Likewise, ByuN back at home. He has a Cyclones. Remember, he has been making Cyclones, has a tank as well. ByuN, he is ready to receive. Tank while it goes off. Nicaract, he has to retreat himself. See ByuN ready for the Reapers in the main. Third CC's on the way. TC is on the way. Meanwhile, Nicaract, he's still committing here to his 2-base play. No command center yet out of our Blue Terran. Is just still going to be building up, getting to Ravens, getting into Intervention Matrix. Likewise, so is ByuN. And soon the pressure is going to be on Nickrat to move out and not necessarily kill ByuN, but at least delay the third. Clearly, the third base of Nickrat is going to be later than that of ByuN, and if he doesn't go for an all-in, he has to at least try and fight for control here of this third location so he can get his own up and running. That dynamic should come into play. This is assuming that Nickrat finds out that the third base is about to finish. So far, Nickrat has not seen much in the main. He is in the dark. Scan across the map reveals the production at least. ByuN is aware. For all ByuN knows, there could be a third on location. There's a scan. Now Nickrat knows. Now he has information here that he is behind in the third base timing. And he knows he needs to move out. He knows he needs to be the aggressor here. As Nickrat is gearing up. He's got 3, getting into a 4th Raven. Meanwhile, ByuN embracing his bio. Stim is on the way, extra Maxes, more Marines. More Marines are building up. Nickrat has yet to pull the trigger. ByuN going for some Raven harass into the main. 2 more Maxes on the way. No third TC. ByuN does confirm. And SCVs are going to be going down. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 SCV kills. Up! Getting 6. And it's going to keep going. 7, 8 workers do go down. And Nickrat, he has to push. Third base is on location. It's going to be on Nickrat to at least deny it. But with this rack setup, it looks like an all-in. Does look like an all-in here from Nickrat. Oh my god, they can just keep going. 16 SCVs going down. Ravens, they go for the dive. They get a couple of auto turrets, but GG gets called, and ByuN will take game number 1. GG. Just a really rough position there for Nickrat. To have to, again, to be forced into that all-in. He was building up an army, but so many SVs went down to that auto turret harass. That was brutal. And with that, I mean, pushing into a siege line like that, a setup that ByuN already had ready. That is a solid game 1 there for ByuN. And now we're getting into game 2, and we'll see if we can bounce back as we load into Ultra Love. Here we go. Getting into Ultra Love next. Meanwhile, still no other updates when it comes to the lower bracket matches. Not yet. No updates there. And again, once the lower semis is ready for us, we'll be jumping in. We'll be holding it. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Terran player. The South Korean Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, representing the Platinum Heroes. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Nickrat. Here we go. Have our TBT. Have our setup. And we'll see how Nickrat does adjust here. Again, last game, things were, in a way, kind of like making their way towards the mid-game. Like, there wasn't anything too major going on outside of the earlier skirmishes with the Reapers. Of course, ByuN got away with a fast third base, and Nickrat was forced into an all-in. But we could see a different approach. Could see it. I'm here for it. So we are getting to our double gas opener into a faster factory. We saw last game that ByuN, he did open Reaper, but he went Reaper into Cyclone, into a more defensive early game. Nickrat was the aggressor last time. We'll see if that continues or if we take a different approach. Taking a different approach. Once again, no proxies. Raxes are back at home. Oh, Nickrat going reactor first. Okay. Is going into reacted Reaper production initially. This is an example of if ByuN moves out with the first Reaper, he would be overwhelmed, just because Nickrat will have a Reaper advantage. very quickly, very early on. So it's one of the reasons why with the first Reaper you typically only scout your half of the map and you don't move out across the map, just because it is a bit of a risk and you can be punished for it. As ByuN does check the triangular third location, again looking for any proxy, and then does pull back. You want Nickrat getting his CC on location, did go reactor into factory into CC. Likewise, ByuN getting his own base as well. And the reactor Hellion is upon us. The reactor Reaper Hellion is upon us. The Reapers are moving out. I should say they're going to be building up. And the goal here should be to try to break the natural. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Tech Lab's already on the way. As a reminder as well, in the PTR, in the current iteration of the patch, you do require Tech Labs for Cyclones. This is the old Cyclone, not the old Cyclone. So you can no longer reactor them out. Do need the Tech Lab. And Magville Accelerators has returned. Does mean that the Cyclone is now less fragile. Nickrat does move out. And he's going to try to force his way up the ramp. Does get the first Hellion. Hellion goes down. Some decent Hellion shots as well. The Reapers, they almost do line up. But the Cyclone arrives just in time with the help of the Cyclone. And ByuN should be able to hold on. Before that, though, does lose an SCV. One SCV falls. Overall, that was a better trade for Nickrat. That was 2 Hellions for 1 Hellion, 2 Reapers, and 2 Marines, and an SCV. Dives into the main. Bypasses the main army, going for the mineral line. Up! Gets another SCV. Gets 1. Gets 2. Gets 2 more SCVs. Up! Almost getting another. That's right, yeah, 3. 4 even. Oh my god. 4 SCV kills. Not bad. 4 SCVs do go down. You may be thinking, oh, but he loses all the Reapers. I mean, Reapers, they get outscaled. Like, Reapers, they don't really scale too well into the mid-game. ByuN does hold, and Nickrat takes a slight worker lead. Very slight. Like half a worker. Back at home, we're building up. Interesting, we see Nickrat, instead of going into Raven production like he did previously, we have very early Viking production instead. We have the add-on swap here, the reactor now on the starport instead. Getting to tank Viking. Are we tempted to go for a second starport and just go for like a 2-port 2-base all in? It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen that build. But I feel like we would have already seen the second starport by now. Nickrat is moving out. Going for the Liberator as well. This looks like a variation of like the 2-port 2-base all in, just because the goal is the same. The goal here is for air control. The goal is air control here with these Vikings, and then use the Liberator to just force your way in. So very aggressive, very committed by Nickrat. We'll see if he can catch the Ravens. Cyclone gets a couple of shots off. Army dips in. Tank getting within range. So far, ByuN playing it carefully. Does pull back, does pull away. I do appreciate that as well. He does keep his Ravens behind as well, despite the mass amount of Vikings. The Ravens, they can still help break out. Up, he wants them. Baits the Vikings in. One of them almost goes down. Liberator has arrived. And the Ravens, they come in from behind. They disable the tanks. You have both tanks, and they do get an auto turret. Oh, just in time. One auto turret throws down. Boys are being pulled. And ByuN breaks out. He breaks out of the contain. Barely takes down the tanks in time. And massive tank blows going off as well. And Nickrat, he does not have enough. Pushes up the ramp. He does get one more tank. Just barely. Gets one more. But ByuN holds. ByuN, he holds on. Did cost him all of his Ravens. It was a messy fight. Behind this, Nikrat, his third CC is halfway done. ByuN, his own third is already complete, already in orbital. So ByuN can now expand. Nikrat is getting there. Now look at the units lost up here. Nikrat did lose an extra tank. Yeah, he lost the Liberator as well. Has lost a little bit more gas-wise. Oh my god, and my apologies, I didn't notice, but yeah, it's gonna be mech. Let's go. It's gonna be mech behind this. Oh boy. So ByuN going for the more mobile bio tank, and Nikrat going to try and slow the game down a little bit here with mass Viking tank instead. Okay. Let's go. CC landing on location. ByuN's already there. And if ByuN is a little bit too cavalier, then I do see opportunities for Nikrat to recover and to even get a lead. Of course, he's fanning out his Vikings. If ByuN, for example, tries to go for some drop play and tries to slip into the main or into the natural, if he gets caught out, then these Vikings can shut him down and give Nikrat some momentum. As I say that though, ByuN is not making medevacs, he is himself going into mass Viking. ByuN, he's fighting for air control. Moves out, looking at the units tab here. ByuN does have a Viking lead. Ooh, gets another Viking. He's already up 3. And ByuN, he should win this air battle. And we'll take down all the Vikings in the sky. Tank volleys going up. Forcing the land. Meanwhile, ByuN, he does fly a little bit too close to the sun there. Tanks a tank shot. Catching another tank. Pushing towards the natural. It's getting a little bit messy here. But does get it. The boys are being pulled. The Vikings land. And Nikrat, he can clean this up, actually. And with the help of the SCVs, he shuts down every single tank. And Nikrat holds, but at a cost of 17 SCVs. I didn't notice just how many workers were falling there. Nikrat holds, but was it worth it? ByuN just keeps rallying in, takes down another 2 Vikings. More even trade, 2 and 2. ByuN even losing a 3rd Viking as well, almost. So let's try to put the army in. ByuN getting a 4th base on location, still maintains a worker advantage. Double expanding even, oh my god. Getting a 4th and a 5th. Meanwhile, Nikrat doesn't really have any counterattack potential. Again, because it's tank Viking, Nikrat, he's stuck at home. It's a very slow army, very immobile. So Nikrat, he still has to just take the role of the defender. Nice control there by ByuN. Gets a tank. Does get a tank, takes down 5 SCVs, as we did have some harass here into the natural. ByuN pulling back. Finally getting into medevac production instead of just pure Viking. Going for a drop play. Yeah, now it's just purely medevacs for ByuN. His goal here to try to pull Nikrat apart. Nikrat trying to keep up. ByuN spots the Vikings, stims in, goes for the tank. First tank goes down. But ByuN has the overextender at the same time dropping into the main. Does slip past the bio army, breaks in. He gets 3 tanks, gets a 4th tank as well, and it's just too much. GG gets called, Nikrat is broken, and ByuN will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. ByuN will take the series. We'll take the series 2-0. Shout out to Nikrat though, because again, Nikrat, he had a very explosive series in the quarterfinals. Still, the highlight of the tournament so far was Geralt versus Nikrat, a very intense back and forth best of 3. So even though he may have gone down to ByuN, ByuN is the heavy favorite for the entire tournament. So no shame in going down to ByuN. And again, Nikrat, he did play very well against Geralt in the previous round. GG. GG, well played. ByuN is going to be our first finalist, and we are here to find out who faces off against ByuN in those grand finals. Let's go. exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys wish to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Well, we have the bracket ready for us. It is going to be a PvZ between Astrea and YoungYakov, as Astrea takes down Rebellion 2-0 and Yakov takes down Shameless 2-1. Ooh, it did go to the ace match. There was a back and forth between Shameless and Yakov, but we have confirmed our lower semis. Let's go. Here we go. Yakov, of course, he is our most recent Fire Grow Cup champion. We had a crazy, intense ZVZ over the weekend. If you missed out, I do recommend tuning into the VODs of the Fire Grow Cup. It was crazy, it was insane, and YoungYakov is this month's Fire Grow Cup champion. But is that enough to take it to the max? That is Angel. Oh boy. Here we go. I'm just trying to set up. The vetoes are done, and we are loading into game number 1. It's going to be on ley lines. Getting into ley lines here. Just trying to set everything up. Beautiful. As spawning in the top right-hand corner, of ley lines, we have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing, or I should say, currently teamless, representing himself, currently teamless, but deserving to be on a team. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, also currently teamless, also deserving to be on a team. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. We have our PvZ here. And the two players that we don't often see face off against each other, so again, this is why I do appreciate out of these open cups, we get to experience these different regions clash here. Like turtles, they be tussling. Crazy. As we have Astrea going for his gate expand, probe scout across the map. Likewise, YoungYakov going for a hatch gas pool. Hatch first opener here from the Zerg player. No 15-15. Also, before I forget, of course, unless I've already done it. Yeah, predictions. Predictions, they should be open in the chat. There we go. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat with those predictions. Sorry, I'd confused myself for a moment there if I'd already opened them or not. I was very confused. It's all good. But now hatch gas full, standard opener here out of YoungYakov. Probe Scout does confirm that as well, so Astrea, he is fully aware. Being as annoying as possible, trying to force some inefficient mining in the main. Likewise, Astrea across the map, just settling into his own build of choice as well. Now, what we do know about Astrea, of course, especially in this matchup, is that he does often come up with his own builds. He does often not always play standard. He can, don't get me wrong, he can play standard. He can go triple Oracle into a third base, into a more standard setup with +1 Blink Stalkers, or he could just be more chaotic instead and embrace, you know, something like a Sky Toss Rush with a second Stargate. He can go into a Robo follow-up into faster Disruptors. Like, Astrea definitely has a lot up his sleeve. I'll be honest, I haven't seen as much Astrea as I want to in the new PTR. We have seen a lot of Astrea against Terran. We've seen a lot of Astrea versus ByuN, for example, over the past month, if not 2 months, but Astrea against Zerg is something that I do want to experience more of, and we'll see what he goes for. What comes to mind here, we did cast Astrea versus Solar. That was around a month ago. That was very intense. I say a month ago, I think it was like the first week or the second week of the PTR, and it was very close between the two of them. It was really cool to see Astrea make use of the NG overcharge and make use of the High Templar defensively against Solar's all-ins. It was very close. Solar did win it in the end, but I want to see how Astrea has adapted to the patch over the past couple of weeks. And now though, Deb shades away. Just keeping tabs here on YoungYakov. Likewise, Likewise, Astrea going for the Stargate into Oracle into a third. So far, everything is looking as it should. Looking standard, man. Looking standard. Oh, I say that. It's going to be Oracle into a Void Ray, actually. Okay, yeah, my attention. There's the NG overcharge on the Oracle as well. Is now full of energy. Expansion is being taken. And the Overlord Scout will confirm the follow-up Void Ray. Now, this Void Ray, its goal is going to be to hunt down these Overlords. Because there's no second Oracle yet, it does mean that there's going to be less harass across the map. It means that the likelihood of YoungYakov losing many drones is quite low here. Yeah, there's a Revelation instead. Yakov will defend, will hold. Doesn't lose any drones yet. And I'm curious what Astrea is hiding, if anything at all. This can lead into a Twilight Council, but oh, my apologies, leads into a Forge, and the Overlord does confirm. So a very important scout there from Yakov. Does get eyes on the Forge. That should tell him that it's going to be a standard follow-up. Into +1, into potentially Blink or maybe even Charge. One of the two. Oracle still being active. There is no second Oracle. So Astrea preserving a lot of gas there. Throwing down extra gateways. Charge going to be on the way, so something much more aggressive here for Astrea. This can lead into Archon support as well. Speaking of, there's that Temple Archives. And now we see why Astrea has been cutting some corners here when it comes to making extra Stargate units. It is going to be for the faster Archons. I mean, this can also lead into Storm. I mentioned before how we saw Astrea flex his fast Storm build against Solar, against Solar's eventual all-in. That was a couple of weeks ago. I'm curious if we're headed there as well. Into faster Storm. Void Ray gets across the map, gets 2 drones. Not bad. 2 workers from the Void Ray. Creep is being denied. YoungYakov, he is saturating his third. Saturating more than that. Getting up to 65 workers. Oh, and we see YoungYakov's tech of choice. I was curious if it was going to be for the Hydrogen, but no. We do have a safety Roach Warren, but it's going to be into the Spire instead. Spire is on the way further back in the natural. Astrea is unaware. Going for a gateway explosion. Taking extra gases. Oh, and Astrea is going to be moving out. Storm is on the way. But Astrea, he's going to be waiting here for his War Prism before he does push, and we'll see if Astrea can hit before there are too many mutas on the field. There's going to be a window here where, of course, YoungYakov is banking up and preserving his resources for mutas. At the same time, Astrea pushes. Astrea is pushing here and now, just waiting for that War Prism to reinforce. Is taking a 4th base behind this. Astrea is not all in by any means. War Prism's on the way. Astrea, he's going to be forcing out more Lings and Roaches. The Spire is done, but YoungYakov, he can't actually make use of it. Okay, he has to produce Roaches here. Nice force fields. To keep YoungYakov at bay. At the same time, Ling counter take here towards the 4th. Zelta back at him to defend. Astrea, he does back off, does retreat. Up. Once again, delaying the push. But the sentries are exposed. The Archons are getting caught out. Up. He gets 1. Yeah, 1 Archon should fall. Yakov, though, he wants the other. He gets both. Yeah, 2 Archons kills. Massive pick off at the same time. A War Prism counterattack across the map. But Yakov, he keeps pushing. He keeps going. Storm is done, but that's a lot of Roaches. Oof. Double Storm with the Roach Ravager. Big connections. There is another Storm available. But the Roaches, they go for the dive. They focus on one of the High Templar. They force in an Archon. Astrea, he will hold, he will defend. But throughout all of this, the mutas. The Spire did finish. 10 mutas are on the way, and I believe Astrea has no idea. He has not scattered. Now he knows. The mutas reveal themselves. Feast production has begun. Yakov going for a link counterattack towards the 4th base. And the 4th is looking quite exposed. There's a warp in though. Astrea, he does respond in time. Does defend his 4th. Mutas, they do find the Void Ray. Void Ray goes down, but no economic damage yet. Which is really what YoungYakov is hoping for. Oh my god. The Archons are ready. The natural, the third base is exposed. Probes are finally going down. Oh my god, 7 probe kills. 7 workers getting 8, getting 9. It's a 10 so far. Phoenix taking a lot of hits. Does get 1 muta. We'll get a second muta and potentially a third. Yeah, it does get a third muta as well. So as the dust settles, that was 3 mutas for 13 probes. I mean, still good damage here from YoungYakov, and he's not making any more mutas. He's now focusing on purely Roach Ravager. Building up Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, Astrea is getting a second Stargate. We'll see if he makes use of it. I do appreciate that Astrea, he's holding off on making more Phoenixes until he gets eyes on any further muta production. So he has 2 Stargates, but he's not making use of it. Doesn't need to. Does not need to. Say that Mutasator in the natural. YoungYakov has built up a massive Ling Ravager army. And Astrea, is he ready for it? Does he have any High Templar? He has 4. 4 High Templar, 4 Storms. Mutasator dive in. And they get 1. 1 High Templar goes down. 2 Storms left. Oof. Another High Templar falls. And another as well. Massive pickups. Very nice target firing out of YoungYakov. He picks up all the High Templar. But the main army just falls to the Immortals. Oh my god. Respect the Immortals, man. Who needs Storm? When you have Archon and Immortal, Astrea holds. And he takes the supply lead. As impressive as it was at YoungYakov, he was able to snipe all the High Templar. At the same time, did cost him a lot of supply. And now Astrea takes the supply lead. Yakov trying to transition into Roach Hydra. Is there a Lurker Den? There is not. No Lurker Den, no Hive either. It's purely Roach Hydra. There's soon to be 1 Storm with this army. Astrea needs a little bit more time. Oh, without a Storm. There they come. Templar, they come in. Once again, one of them gets started down. Oof. Storms are being forced out. Another High Templar falls. Astrea getting punished here for overextending. He is punished hard. At the same time, Zelda get a kill here on the 5th. They make sure that we're on an even base count. 4 bases for the Zerg, 4 bases for the Protoss. Fleet Beacon's almost done, plus on air attack, and Astrea is getting ready for Sky Toss. Another High Templar! Gets another! The High Templar goes down. An Archon as well, very nice starter stepping here from YoungYakov. He won't be able to keep pushing though, and he's going to be punished for this. By the Phoenixes. Catching every Ravager. And YoungYakov, he can't take this fight! Leading out even more Roaches. Zelsay busts into the natural, drones are going down. And earlier, YoungYakov, he had some momentum, but now, not anymore. It's been stripped away. 3 drone kills, the army's forced back home. Still no Hive. And still no answer to Sky Toss. I mean, we're not getting there yet, but we can. Astrea can get there. They can run right towards the top side. Gets caught out by the stasis. Astrea just committing to massive mortal. 2 immortals at a time. And there it is. Finally, we have something being made use of here from the Fleet Beacon. It is going to be the Mothership. Mothership is on the way. No carriers yet. As Astrea takes another expansion, takes a 5th. Going for a 6th base as well. Something you don't see too often. A Protoss player that is up in bases compared to the Zerg. It's a 4-base Zerg against soon to be a 6-base Protoss. YoungYakov is pretty committed at this point. He's pretty all in. He's cutting workers at 68. Zels, they hit the fresh mining base here, the most important mining base here of YoungYakov. Has to turn around. Has to respect it. Pulls back, deals with the run by. Roach Hydra hits the would-be sick. Also, I didn't notice, but both center bases have high yield gases. That's crazy. Oh my god. And likewise, we can see some of the features here of this map as well. The storms, they annihilate the hydras. But this map is quite defendable here. Not just because of the ransom, but because of the choke points as well. Nice spread from YoungYakov. With the storms, they still get quite a bit of damage dealt. Zealots are breaking through, but not enough Zealots. Maybe barely enough. There's Astrea, he holds. Does hold on. He's making 4 carriers at a time. Oh my god. He's got 4 Stargates. All the carriers. And Yakov, again, he's stuck on Roach Hydra. He's stuck on a mid-tier army. On lair tech. There's no hive, there's no infestation pits, no vipers, no lurkers, no corruptors either. And GG gets called. There's no final fight as the writing was on the wall, and Astrea, he takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Astrea does take a lead. And again, YoungYakov, he was committed. He was committed. He had no longevity in that game. He had no 5th base, no even 4 base saturation. He was stuck at 68 workers. Just, yeah, a really rough mid-game there for YoungYakov as he was just outscaled or outpaced over the course of that game. And GG, Astrea does take game 1. Now we're getting ready here for game 2. I see someone asking in the chat, and there is an accurate response as well. Someone's asking, what was the opener? Why were the Phoenixes? It was a standard opener for the most part. It was Oracle into Void Ray, so technically not the most standard opener, but it was still just a Stargate opener into a 3rd. That's important. And the only reason why there were Phoenixes is because of the revelation of the Mutas. YoungYakov did go Mutas. As a response, Astrea did throw down a 2nd Stargate and did start Phoenix production. So just reactive play from Astrea to help deal with the Mutas. And here we go. We're getting into game 2, getting into Amygdala. Here we go. Getting into game 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing himself, but also leading the series 1-0. Needs Automass 1 more game to advance onto the grand finals. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player down in the series, but we'll see if he can bounce back and force that game 3. It is YoungYakov. Go. So load into Amygdala, as opposed to the previous map, which is very defendable on your 3, 4, and 5 base setup. Here on Amygdala, your bases are more exposed. This 3rd base here is very wide open, can be attacked from the top side, from the right side. Likewise, the 4th base also is exposed here to the elements, to the center of the map if you do take the gold. So it can be quite difficult here to defend against more aggressive builds. If YoungYakov were to go for something like a 2 base or a 3 base all-in, I would favor that, depending on whether or not it gets scattered or not, but I can see aggression working quite well. We have seen historically aggression work quite well on Amygdala. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on YoungYakov. Likewise, we'll see if Astrea does go for his own unique variation as well. As a reminder, last game, Astrea, he actually cut additional Oracle production for a faster kind of Templar Archives and Archon Storm kind of transition. So Astrea was cutting corners in a sense, and he was a little bit more vulnerable early on, just to be able to get into the mid-game in a stronger position. And Astrea did get away with it. I mean, it was still very back and forth, as we were pointing out at the time. YoungYakov, he was fighting quite well in the mid-game, when it came to sniping High Templar and denying storms, but he was still just having a hard time keeping up with the momentum and the economy of Astrea, because that is something that Astrea had over YoungYakov. Something that I was trying to emphasize is, after a certain point, Astrea took a worker lead and took a base lead, and he just snowballed from there. He's able to outpace YoungYakov. But here we go. For now, we're settling in. For now, we are just going for a Stalker first. Interesting. Stalker first, it doesn't have to mean it's going to be a Twilight Council opener, but it can lead into it. Speaking of, yep, Twilight Council. Now, the reason why a initial Stalker opener does lead to this is because a Stalker is designed to deny the Overlord Scouts. Astrea, Ooh, Astrea, he does overshoot. A bit of miscontrol here. The Overlord is going for the main. And that's a lot of HP here. Does the Overlord get a scout off? This should not have happened. This should not have happened. The Stalker, it was asleep on the jump path. Yay. It's going to be close, and the Overlord, it looks like it will get within range, and it does confirm the Twilight Council. Okay, so a big moment here for YoungYakov. Again, this shouldn't have happened. That is the purpose of going Stalker first, is to deny the scouts, and Astrea, he failed in that. This I was not expecting, though. What I was going to say with a Twilight Council opener is, okay, should be Glaives or it should be a Dark Shrine. It's going to be Blink. It's going to be Blink with a proxy across the map. It is going to be very committed. Essentially a 2-base all-in from Astrea. Meanwhile, the Stalkers, they're hunting down to the Overlord. Now, because YoungYakov saw the Twilight Council, he knows to be safe. He knows to throw down an early Roach Warren. He knows to be prepared for aggression in some way, shape, or form. Oh my god. As 2 Stalkers have arrived. They threaten the natural, the 3rd even. Picking up a Ling here or there. How many gateways? There's going to be 1 gateway in the main. There's going to be 2 here at the natural. We're getting up to 4 gates back at home and a 5th gate across the map. This is straight up a 2-base all-in. It's a 2-base all-in from Astrea. I think you can afford a 6th gateway. Yep, there it is. There is that 6th gateway here. So 6 gate 2-base all-in with Blink Stalkers. And YoungYakov is bleeding out some Lings. He's bleeding out some drones. Roach Warren is on the way. But until then, Astrea just being so assertive early on with a handful of Stalkers, and he's achieving a lot of damage. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of control. I mentioned before that I do favor aggression on Amygdala. I assumed that YoungYakov was going to be the aggressor, not Astrea. And Astrea is snowballing out of control. He does already get 1 queen kill. Roaches are amassing. Link speed is on the way. But Astrea is trading well here against these Lings. So many Lings go down, and the hatchery, it's so close to falling as well. The queen! Oh! He gets 1. Oh, Clutch Transfuse saves the queen. Blink is done, and with these Blink Stalkers, there's no shot. Astrea snowballing out of control. He gets some of the Roaches. Queens, they get the hell out of there. The Roach count is building up. It's getting there for YoungYakov, but the hatchery, it falls. Yakov is out to 2 bases, and what's scary about that is that that doesn't just impact the economy, that impacts the production. Yakov is down to 2-base production here, desperately injecting to work with whatever lava he has left. Astrea still rallying in. Yes, the Spine Crawler. I'm afraid to look. How many Stalkers has Astrea lost this game? 1. I was afraid to look, Bobby. There we go. Finally, no, not even. Nice Blink control. Astrea doesn't lose another Stalker. Still only 1 Stalker going down for 29 Lings, a hatchery, a Spine Crawler, a Queen, a Roach. The efficiency has been insane. He rotates. He denies the 3rd base once again. And we're hitting critical mass of Stalker. So he's getting to critical mass here. It's becoming too much. The proxy is scouted. YoungYakov finally has found it. He's going to try and lock it down, but he won't be able to. Oh, gets a 2nd Stalker. That's 2. 2 Stalkers have fallen. Let's go. I mean, the Ravager count is building up. I mean, we are building up more Roaches and Ravagers, true. But yeah, GG gets called. The writing was on the wall as YoungYakov was being starved out. The efficiency was insane. And Astrea will take the series at 2-0. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Astrea with a very unorthodox build and unusual all-in. It was a 2-base, 6-gate Blink all-in out of Astrea, gaining a lot of momentum early on. Now, YoungYakov did scout the Twilight Council, but I think he just assumed it was going to be a later push with Glaive Adepts or with Dark Templar, so he assumed that he would have more time to drone up a little bit before investing into his army. As we saw Astrea, he moved out immediately with the first 2 Stalkers. With the first 2 Stalkers, he was already picking off Lings, and then he quickly built up to 3, into 4. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that early on, he was getting so much value, denying mining time, getting damage on the hatchery, killing Lings, killing drones, killing queens. And it all built up over time. It was just this slow accumulation of damage, and on top of that, the slow accumulation of stalkers as well, as Astrea was losing none of them. He lost two stalkers in that game. Crazy. GG. GG, well played. Astrea does take it. And we have our two finalists. We have the grand finals getting ready for us here. It's going to be a PVT between Astrea and ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. Of course, the big part of that as well is the fact that the proxy didn't get scouted until the end. So Yakov, he didn't realize that reinforcements were coming in that quickly as well. Didn't realize just how little time he had compared to what he otherwise would have as well. Here we go. So we have our best of 5, and game 1 is going to be on Hecate, the filler map. Let's go. Let us go. Again, for those that are curious, this event is obviously on the PTR, but more importantly, it's on the new maps. But there are only 6. There are only 6 new maps in the new map pool, or in the new proposed map pool, I should say. Some of the older maps are going to be brought over as well. But to make sure that players are forced to play on the new maps as often as possible, that we have made sure, or open tournaments, tournament organizers have made sure not to add the current maps that are in the current map pool into these tournaments. So players, they aren't allowed to play on Alkyone or Side Delta or Oceanborn, right? All these, current standard maps, just to make sure they're forced to play and test on the new maps, just so we can get as much testing as possible. Hecate is a filler map, because there's only 6 maps, and we need 7 for proper vetoes and for a best of 7 as well. So it is a filler map. It is added to this event, to the KSRC, to the PGSR Monday as well, and that's where we start. Let's go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the red Terran player from South Korea representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless, but deserving to be on a team, the American Protoss. It is Astrea. Here we go. Don't think that was the normal gases 3 hatch. Not quite. As was pointed out in the chat, and something that I should have pointed out as well, is that the link speed finished at, I think it was the 4:30 mark, if I remember correctly. I think it was like 4:30 link speed timing, because it was later gas. It was a later gas for Yakov, which didn't help either, right? Because that's why the initial stalkers were doing so much, because link speed was so much later. So true. That also did add to how heavily Astrea was snowballing out of control. But for now, we're settling in. Settling into Hecate. So now ByuN is going to be opening up double gas. So double gas open out of ByuN, going for a Rax into a factory. Likewise, Astrea back at home, just going for a standard gate into Cybercore into Nexus. Or sorry, gate expand into Cybercore. So standard open out of Astrea, something a little bit more tech heavy from ByuN. Astrea does confirm with the probe, but the probe is locked in, and Astrea will have to recall to save the worker. Speaking of, show us the recall. Up. Not quite. Never mind. The Reaper has arrived, and the probe is going to die. Yeah, the probe is going to fall. No recall here to save it. Smoge, baby, Smoge. Feels probe, man. Feels pro. As we have yet to embrace our tech of choice, it's going to be hidden here behind the mineral line. And it is going to be the Stargate. Let's go. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of Astrea. And again, welcome one and all to Hecate. I believe this map was active back in, was it 2020? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just kind of ballparking when Hecate was active, but it was in the relative recent time of the post-COVID era, or the COVID era of StarCraft, around 2020, maybe 2021. So it's been a couple of years. Been a couple of years since we have played on Hecate. Good to see it again. I don't mind if this map returned for the next season. Look, I've said this before. I would not mind if every now and then, especially at the end of the year, Pappy, give us the dream pool. It would be really cool if during the off season they use some of these older maps, right? Like I feel like this has been echoed. This sentiment has been echoed in the past, where it's a shame that so much time and effort gets put into making some of these maps, and we see it for a season and we never see it again, right? We never see it again. There are some exceptions, like OSC tournaments. They do bring back, you know, Romanticide or Cosmic Sapphire or 2000 Atmospheres every now and then. But it would be really cool if it came back in an official fashion, right? Like I would not be opposed to like an end of year like all-star lineup, you know, like the dream pool, and bring back, you know, some of these maps that are near and dear to our hearts, just you know, for the off season. For the off season. Meanwhile, ByuN coming in with the mine drop. Wind mine here towards the natural, double wind mine drop into the main. So far, no major damage, getting one probe kill. Likewise across the map, Oracle wreaking havoc as well. Up. There's still one more shot left. And we do force a lot of lost mining time here. And mining time is denied. Oracle gets 4 SCVs, is forced out. Oracle survives. And ByuN still has that one wind mine. Another drop. Up. And likewise retargets, gets another probe. And again, Astrea, he's just having a really hard time dealing with this. Another mine shot going off. Another probe. And the Metaverse escape. Oh my god. And they barely got... No! Oh my god, they stacked up for a moment there. Thankfully, no retargeting. That could have been disastrous. That could have been game then and there. The probes, they were stacked. A Stalker goes down instead. ByuN gets out, and Astrea holds. Astrea does hold. That could have been disastrous. As ByuN is able to borrow in time, he will lose both of these Widow Mines just barely though. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? It was an Oracle opener out of Astrea into Blink. In total, 5 probes went down, 4 SCVs, but we also have to factor in the delayed mining time. There was so much lost mining time here at the natural. Astrea having a hard time dealing with that initial drop. Now he has gained map control, trying to contain his opponent, gets a full scout, gets eyes on the 3-1-1 setup. And it's going to be on Astrea to contain and to delay any kind of move out, as Astrea takes the third. Meanwhile, Raven harass here into the main. Getting 1 probe so far. Up. Almost a second. Just the 1 worker. The Phoenix! No! Oh my god. that was insane. Phoenix barely survives. Will snipe the Raven. Get Astrea just getting his third base up and running. Taking into charge Archons and Storm. Astrea is taking up. But ByuN will soon move out once Stim kicks in. As Stim is on the horizon. 2 more Raxes, getting up to a 5 rack setup. Cyclone goes down. Astrea does preserve his Stalkers. But this is looking quite committed here for ByuN. Still no 3rd TC. Looking very committed here. I mean, it would make sense considering that ByuN knows he did quite a bit of economic damage early on. So he might believe that his opponent is vulnerable here. But now just going for drop play. Never mind. He's moving out with his drops. Likewise, Astrea setting up some spotter pylons. Is on patrol. Storm is halfway done. He's getting there. Just needs a little bit more time. As ByuN breaks out. Up! Stasis goes off. Catches out most of the army. Very nice stasis here from Astrea. And barely gets a Marauder. Trading 1 for 1. Double drop towards the main. Ooh, recall is not available here in the main base either though. The drop gets in and Astrea, he turns everything back around. Island goes down. Goes for the Templar Archives. Oh, and it looks like he will be able to snipe it. Massive Storm. Up! Oh, barely does get it with the final shot. But it's going to cost ByuN the entirety of that double drop. At the same time, ByuN sends his reinforcements here towards the 3rd. Does rally in. There's that recall. Up. Mine shot's going up. Storm connects. Astrea holds. Whew. Astrea is holding on, but again, ByuN is committed. Still no third CC. It's all or nothing for ByuN. It is a 2-base all-in, as Astrea is getting a 4th. Astrea is getting a 4th base. ByuN rallying towards the 4th as well. Still outside the 3rd. Jumping into the main. Astrea is keeping up for now, but for how much longer? Okay, Astrea does split up his High Templar. Has split up his Storms. Oh my god. Storm goes off, but the army is being broken. Also, I apologize, I just realized I did not open the predictions. So, I was engrossed in the story about the dream pool. I was dreaming. But it looks like the 3rd base has been broken. The 3rd base, it's going to be going down. It is close, I should say. High Templar coming in. A pretty insane Storm. Oh my god. ByuN does sit in it. 3rd base goes down, but Astrea, he has a 4th. He just rallies over. Saturates the 4th base instead. Astrea, he's still maintaining his economy. Meanwhile, ByuN is still all in. He's still all in, but the longer this goes on, the better it is for Astrea. ByuN here refuses to back off. Rotates over. Widowmine dropping to the natural. Astrea does pull away in time. 1 probe kill. Oh, it's a lot of Widowmines. Mine shots going off. There are 2 High Templar left for Astrea. Down to 2. Another mine drop. ByuN rotating. Now getting his 3rd base on location. It's going to be delayed here by the Adept. Nice moves by Astrea. Ooh, brutal Storms. Storms do connect. Another Storm on the main army. Astrea trying to collapse on this, but oh, the mine shots! Mine shots go up, Zealots go down. There's maybe 1 Storm left. And there's just not enough Protoss. Not enough Gateway Army here, or is there? It's still so close. ByuN gets into the mineral line, probes are falling. The army is heavily overstimmed. But he snipes a High Templar, he gets 1. Doesn't quite get the other. That's still 7 workers. But ByuN finally, he's expanding. Finally, he realizes he cannot break Astrea. He's still trying, though. Up. So Widowmine drop finally goes down. ByuN's still rallying across the map. He's still not stopping. He might be expanding, but the army, he has no chill. No chill whatsoever. Observer does confirm. Astrea's ready. Oh, does have a Storm. Oh my god, 2 Storms even. The layered Storms are brutal. Astrea, he blinks in, takes down the Marauders. This is not a pretty trade here for Astrea, but he does come out on top. Oh, the mine shots. Oof. Goes swing away. The control is good. 1 Stalker goes down. But Astrea, he's holding. He's holding on. ByuN gets his 3rd. His 3rd base is getting up and running, and now we need a 4th base for Astrea. You could now argue that this 4th base is late, considering we're now at an even base count. Plus mules for ByuN. And I would say that at this point, even though ByuN is now forced into a longer game state, he is still in a good position. He's still been able to maintain himself. He's on 3 bases. Ghost production has begun. Ghost Academy is done. I do give the edge to ByuN here as he's moving out. I'm just concerned about the lack of splash damage for Astrea. He's been barely holding on, but he's been trading out unit after unit. He has 0 High Templar left. He has 1 Colossus on the way. And currently no Storm. Nice force fields though. Force fields on the raid. Mine shots up. Gonna be going up. Astrea is holding on. He gets 11 SCVs across the map. Very nice damage by the Zealots. They're still going. 14 SCVs. But ByuN is pushing in. Denies the 4th. That's a massive pickoff. Meanwhile, did I say 14? 16. 16 SCVs go down. Astrea forced to expand elsewhere. towards the left-hand side. Building up more Colossus. Still no other High Templar. I mean, High Templar, they aren't as effective anymore because now there are Ghosts, now there are EMPs. True. And the players, they're finally calming down for only a moment here. As ByuN is still pushing through. How many Ghosts does he have? 4. He's got 4 Ghosts. Looking for those EMPs. Oh. We'll connect with most of the Stalkers. Force field misplaced. No! The Force fields! They were misplaced. They dive on in. And Colossus are exposed. And it looks like ByuN, he might just have enough. Again, just very chaotic Force fields there out of Astrea. He will hold. But this is not the fight he was hoping for. It does catch all the Ghosts, though. The Ghosts get lifted. Astrea holds. A very messy fight. ByuN backs off. He escapes with his Medivacs. Now getting into Viking production. Calm down, Poppy. Calm down. Breathe. Now, Astrea's 4th base has successfully gotten up and running. ByuN is unaware. This better be good. But I'm sure now he has an inkling of the 4th base, knocking down those rocks. Their counterattack gets shut down. ByuN, he picks up the main, landing it as a 4th. ByuN, he will maintain himself. Still very committed because of this. And soon he can do the same to the natural. Like, he's about to run out of resources here at the natural, so he can just take a 5th. Can use it as a 5th. To keep himself going. Likewise, Astrea getting his own 5th base. Zellaromai slips in. Pulls back the entire army. And again, more importantly, just giving Astrea more time to build up. And what has he built up? He's now on 2 Colossus, has a couple of Phoenixes, getting into now a more heavy Immortal-based army. I mean, Astrea had a choice to make, and in the PTR in the new patch, the Disruptor isn't as effective against Bio as it used to be. So no Disruptors yet here from Astrea. Going into Immortals. Meanwhile, the army dives in, denies the stasis trap. That's a hefty Bio army. The 5th base is going to go down. There's no saving it. At the same time, though, Zellaromai denies the 4th. Not bad. In a way, trading a base for a base. Ooh, brutal EMP here on the Colossus. That's a kill! Oh, it was not lifted. That's a kill, not a cancel, not a lift on the 4th base. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN, not quite paying attention there. Zealots take it into the mineral line. SCV's going down. ByuN, he turns around. He races back home. Astrea, he's doing it. Can he get the Ghost? He can. 1 Ghost goes down. Every Ghost counts. ByuN now is on 2 bases. He's on 2. Losing a Viking. Oh, another Ghost. A very nice sight there from Astrea. Doesn't lose anything. Meanwhile, stasis traps, they are set up. Speaking of, up! Yeah, ByuN stims in. Takes stasis to the face. Not bad. Another stasis behind this, catching reinforcements. And Astrea, he can collapse in. He will take this fight. Yeah, the stasis traps are brutal. And ByuN, GG gets called. He doesn't take the final fight here as Astrea will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Oh my god. that was an intense game. Almost no room to breathe there. GG, well played Astrea. He holds, he's able to counterattack. He killed the 4th expansion, or I guess the main that was landed over. Got the mineral line. And towards the end there, he just picked the army apart with those stasis traps. GG. GG, well played. Astrea does take a lead. But as a reminder, this is a best of 5. It is a best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Oh boy. Here we go. There's at least 2 more. At least 2 more. I'm hoping for 3, maybe 4. Give us a series, man. Here we go. As I don't blame our players, they need a moment to breathe here. They need to calm things down before jumping into game 2. That was the best I've seen Astrea play. I do recommend watching some of Astrea's matches over the past, I want to say, yeah, ever since the offseason, I'll be honest. Like the past 4 or so weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks, Astrea's been looking really strong. For those that maybe don't tune into some of the other European weeklies, Astrea, he most recently 2-0'd Max Packs, and he 2-1 Max Packs in the same week. That was in KSRC and the Piggersaur Monday as well. Astrea actually defeated ByuN, what was it, like 3 weeks ago? But these are all like recent results. And what I'm alluding to is because Astrea did spend some time in Korea in the lead up to EWC, it does feel like that practice has finally been paying off. That practice has been paying off here. Like Astrea has been on the grind as well. I don't remember Astrea being so active, but again, during this off-season, during the off-season of EPT, Astrea is playing in so many weekly tournaments, and he's been getting better and better results. It's been really cool to see. It's been really cool to see the growth of Astrea over the past couple of months. Has been very impressive. Very impressive. But now we're getting into game 2, and we're still hoping for a back and forth here. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Leading the series 1-0, it is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Blue Terran player, representing Shopify Rebellion from South Korea. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can create a series out of this. It is ByuN. Also, I just realized I pressed the wrong buttons. Hold on. There we go. It's fine, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Here we go. Getting into game 2. ByuN once again opening up double gas. Double gas opener out of ByuN is going to lead into a faster factory. Last game we saw this led into a more committed Widowmine drop. It was 3 Widowmines if you remember. 3 Widowmines, and I mean that started the aggression of ByuN. That just was almost unrelenting. The mine drops into the move outs. Astrea, he will confirm that it is a double gas opener. And back at home he's just settling into his own build. But yeah, it was Astrea, Trigger, Future, and Clem. They were all living together. They were all living together in Korea. This was in the lead up to EWC. This was a couple of months ago, and they were all on that grind. It was basically like an NA team house in Korea, and Clem was adopted by all the NA boys, and they were practicing all very, very hard. They were, of course, were improving together. And in the aftermath of EWC, it does feel like not just Clem, of course, who is the best player in the world currently and the world champion, but Astrea and Trigger, they both did level up as well. Unfortunately, Trigger didn't compete in EWC, and Astrea did as well, but like you got to see a little bit less from them. In the aftermath of that, like you have kind of seen that kind of now pay off, and yeah, they've been looking better than they have in a while, I feel. Both Astrea and Trigger. Both have been looking good in these online cups. So now we are going to be settling in. But now we have our 1-1-1 setup here out of ByuN. And we'll see what kind of opener we go for this time as the probe is in position. And in the previous game, it was a Stargate opener into Oracle. This time, Twilight Council. So Astrea is going for Blink Stalkers. Is going for Blink Stalkers instead. Hello, ByuN. As ByuN does get a spotter depot here towards the right-hand side. Once again, setting up for a Widowmine drop. As the Widowmines are on the way alongside the medevac. I mean, we saw how successful ByuN was with his initial Widowmine dropping game, but oh, that's around! Oh my god. As Astrea, he does come in, does punish the Reaper, and the Reaper goes down, but I believe ByuN did get the scout up. Yeah, ByuN, he did spot the Twilight Council, so now ByuN is aware of Blink Stalkers. So on the one hand, it was a nice pick off there by Astrea, but ByuN, he got what he wanted. He got the scout. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. As we have additional gateways on the way, it's going to be so far 3 gate blink, 3 gate blink stalkers from Astrea, no 4th gateway for the time being. With this Astrea, he should gain map control. He can also move out. He can try to poke in, try to pick off a couple of key units here and there, any stray units, I should say, and try to contain ByuN. That is, of course, going to be after the mine drop, though, as the mine drop is on the way. This time, it's less committed. Remember, game 1, it was a triple with a mine drop. This time, double. So 2 with a mine's hallucination does get eyes on the drop itself. Astrea is keeping up, does rotate, and he will deny. And it isn't just about denying the Widowmine drop, but it also denies the scouting, as ByuN is still a little bit in the dark as what's going on. He has seen 3 gateways so far, but he doesn't know if there's a 4th gateway, he doesn't know if there's a 3rd nexus. ByuN is still trying to piece it all together. Yo, imagine a map with, like, neutral vortexes, which, like, just suck in units. Oh my god. I don't think we've seen that before. We've had neutral missile turrets. We've had lava, of course. But imagine. Jesus. That'd be crazy. And obviously, like, they, like, turn on and off, like, in, like, I don't know, like, 20-second intervals or something. Or 30-second intervals. I don't know, in my brain, when I saw the medevac going over the vortex, it just, oh god. It's a nice visual, though. I do appreciate this about Ultra Love. Making use of an otherwise, like, asset that isn't in the game anymore, right? Like, you know, when was the last time we saw a vortex in competitive game? So, yeah, just a really good use of it. I appreciate it. As behind this, Astrea again, 3 gate blink into a 3rd base getting saturated, taking up in towards a bay. Last game we saw Astrea rush into Storm. This time he's going to be rushing into Colossus instead. So is adjusting and is mixing up his play, as we do get 4 probe kills here at the 3rd. Very nice damage out of ByuN. Gets 4 probes. Raven's still alive. Widowmine drop is still outside of the main as well. So really patient play here out of ByuN. ByuN, he doesn't, you know, have too much urgency to go in with the Widowmines. He's waiting for the opportune moment, waiting for a distraction. And then he'll go in. Very disciplined play, I should say, from ByuN. As Yami moves out, Astrea, of course, focusing on his control, does pull away. ByuN going to be reinforcing. No 3rd CC yet. Does break out. There is a sentry, there are force fields. Oh, speaking of, yeah, the army is sliced up and the Marines are getting picked off. Not a bad fight there out of Astrea, but he still is going to be overwhelmed. Ooh, Stalkers are going down. Where's the Colossus? Colossus now does arrive. 2nd Colossus on the way. ByuN rotating, getting caught out though. Losing a Marauder. Tank is on siege. Colossus, they go ham here on the Marines. The Marines are falling. Man army being forced back. But ByuN, he can't keep pushing. He's going to be forced to pick up. Meanwhile, as he picks up, a massive shout to Cosmos. Papi, fala galera, fala galera. Obrigado. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. And welcome. Bienvenidos, one and all, to the grand finals of the Tenacious Tussle. Here we have a best of 5 between Astrea and ByuN. It's been a very intense series so far. And we're still in the early hours here, or the early games of the series. Ooh. Stalkers are getting picked up. Mine shot does connect, and ByuN, can he get on top of the Colossus? Barely not. 2nd Colossus arrives just in time. Astrea, he holds. ByuN now getting his 3rd base on location. It's a very late 3rd. That's why it's on location. As once again, ByuN was hyper-aggressive. Stims on in, he wants a Colossus. Oh, and he gets it. He will barely get it as well. Snipes a Colossus, getting on top of the 4th Nexus. Forcing a cancel. Very nice pickups here from the Terran. Finally, he gains the value he was looking for. Astrea did overextend. The prism was a little bit too late. From here, ByuN can back off. Astrea expands towards the left-hand side instead. And now it's time for Astrea to counterattack. Now he can reinforce with that War Prism. He also has extra micro potential to save the Colossus. Zell's taking eyes on the third. And does Astrea feel confident enough to push in? Can he break this position? There's going to be one tank, no bunkers, no Sim City, a couple of Vikings. Astrea waiting for a move out. Does find the army. And does force field as well. Colossus taking a lot of hits. Marines go down. With help of the Prism, we should be able to save the Colossus. And these are going to be better trades for Astrea. Breaks through the Marines. Zealot reinforcements have arrived. And ByuN's in trouble. Oof. Even forcing a bit of friendly fire. ByuN, he has to back off. And again, he barely has an army left. Will some autos harass? And Astrea, can he go for the kill? The boys have to be pulled. Oh, the force fields! Yeah, they lock back the Marauders. So far, good control. Prism almost goes down. Prism gets sniped. And the Colossus is exposed. Viking goes down. Colossus gets saved. And Astrea, he's done it. He has broken the back of ByuN. That's 19 SCV kills. Again, ByuN was so aggressive earlier. Now he's being punished for it. Ooh, the mules, they're not able to mine. Third base is denied. And Astrea is looking to take a 2-0 lead in this series. ByuN trying to hold on. Is going to be stuck on 2 bases. Raises back with the Raven. Oh, he sims in. He wants a Colossus. He gets it. One Colossus goes down. Zealot reinforces it. We're just a little bit too late. ByuN is still in this. He's still fighting. Still fighting his heart out. Astrea, he's running out of Zealots, running out of buffer. He has to get the hell out of here. Yeah, Astrea, he has overextended. He's stuck around a little bit too long. Has to pull away. ByuN holds. Whew. ByuN does barely hold on. He's muling his heart out. He has a little recovering to do. Even though ByuN holds, look at the economy. 75 probes for Astrea. 75. It's crazy. The only thing keeping ByuN alive there was lack of Warp Prism. You can see just how far away the Warp Pins are, so reinforcements took so long for Astrea. If Astrea had kept the Prism alive, then that could have been it then and there. That could have been game. Alas, ByuN sniped it, dropping into the main base. Astrea, he has to respond. Probes are going down. Pretty good damage here by ByuN. Gets almost the entire mineral line. 12 probe kills. Oh my god. Gets 12 probes, gets away. But at the same time, Zelarame here into the third, only getting 5 SCVs though. ByuN is bouncing back. But a Zell drop into the main, and ByuN, he doesn't really have the units here in position to defend. ByuN can't afford these losses. Like, the drop was good for ByuN, but Astrea, he does an even amount of damage here. Does an equivalent amount of damage across the map. Gets 12 SCVs. Distracts the army, gets away with the Warp Prism. Oh my god, the force fields are brutal! Nice pick up though. The micro! ByuN gets away. Dropping in towards the main. Oh my god, does pull back. Oh. And as he pulls back, a shout out to SC2 in the chat for resubscribing with Twitch Prime for 9 months. God, baby God, thank you so much for resubscribing. We do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you. Thank you for the support. As the triple drop is still here outside of the main. Likewise, ByuN, he is catching up in army supply, now getting into ghost production. 4 CC is on the way. Again, earlier, ByuN, he was so close to being broken, but he is holding on, and he's recovering. Now, Astrea still has a lead. Don't get me wrong, Astrea, he still has the advantage. But ByuN is on the road to recovery. He still needs a couple of better trades, a couple of better pickoffs. Drops into the main. And we'll catch a couple of Stalkers. Likewise, Zelarumbai catches Marines, but doesn't quite get anything else as the Ghost should survive. Oh! Barely does. Ghost lives. Triple drop here on the left-hand side, and Astrea's being pulled apart. He's out of position. Completely out of position. Force a recall. Again, Astrea, he spreads so thin. Gets a medevac. But he has to defend the main, the 4th base. Dropping across the map. Getting some SCVs. Not bad. Honestly, the War Prism has been the MVP. Time and time again. 5, 6, 7 SCV kills here and there. Just making sure that ByuN doesn't fully recover, and here comes the main army. Astrea, he's had enough defending. He's had enough. The Colossus Swipe's being wasted on the CC. Has to bring it together here. Results are cleaned up. Astrea, he pulls back. The Warp Prism did go down. So no Warp Prism for Astrea, getting into Disruptors, getting another expansion. Army tries to break out, gets caught though, Nova goes up. Doesn't connect. Nice snipe from ByuN. Gets a Disruptor. Chasing down the Colossus. The Vikings, where's the anti-air? Vikings, they get one Colossus, they're going for the other as well. Oh, they barely don't get it. Ooh, barely not. Astrea barely gets away. Gets away, man. ByuN now taking a fourth. Is going to be an orbital. Bold move. Quite greedy. He's going for the fourth base. Medevac still being active. Distracting Astrea. Astrea doesn't know that this is empty. Does pick it up. Comes into the main. But Astrea should finally clean this up. May not be maneuvering on the right hand side. The Observer does spot this. Astrea spots a rotation, trying to keep up. He's got how many disruptors? 2. Oh, only 2 disruptors. Stargate's on the way. Astrea, he's thinking about Sky Toss. Working on that Sky Toss. Get 6 probes. Zealots get cleaned up. Astrea will be the first to max out. Actually, my apologies, going into Phoenixes. I mean, that will help deal with these drops. True. They've been so annoying. ByuN does them in. Once again, Nova is denied. The force field's pretty good, though, and the army is choked up. But we're running out of Zealots. GG gets called, though. Astrea, he will take the fight in the end, and Astrea takes a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. Oh, my God. ByuN, though, he refused to go down that game for so long. He was holding off for so long. Alas, we saw him plummet in supply there. He went down to 100 army supply compared to the 160 of Astrea. It was still a better fight in favor of the Protoss. And ByuN, he ran out of steam. And with that, we're on match point. We're on match point. Astrea, he is 1 game away from taking down ByuN 3-0. ByuN has been so aggressive this series. So aggressive, so assertive. And, I mean, to be fair, ByuN has been so close to breaking Astrea as well. Especially in Game 1, but also in Game 2. It's been very chaotic. And now we find ourselves in the most vetoed map in the map pool. You know what it is. We're going to be loading into El Dorado. Let's go. A very rare map. We see it like, if we're lucky, we see it once a tournament. Speaking of, we're seeing it once this tournament. Like once a tournament in a best of 5 is when we usually do see it. So exciting stuff here. Going to be loading into El Dorado. It was the same in the Pigosaur Monday earlier this week, where we also saw El Dorado in the finals between Shin and Max Pax. Here we go. So bad there was no prediction. There was. Am I crazy? Predictions, yeah, they opened up earlier. If you missed them, Pappy, mates, what's going on? Currently, predictions are... Let's have a look here. They're 53-47. 53% in favor of ByuN, 47% in favor of Astrea. As we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the red Terran player. South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion down in this series. Can he bounce back? It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless, but 1 game away from becoming our champion this week. It is Astrea. Let's go. Now, to be fair, if you remember, the predictions were a little bit late to be opened. They did open up like 5 minutes into Hecate. So in the middle of the Hecate game is when they opened. I'll say 5, like 7 minutes into Hecate. Here we go. As once again, ByuN opening up double gas, has done so every game so far in this series, and we've seen different variations of Widowmine drop. Game 1 was a triple Widowmine drop, Game 2 was just 2, Game 3, how many Widowmines, or a drop at all? We'll find out. More people bet on ByuN because it looks so good for him. Yeah, you're not wrong. If you remember, when I opened up the predictions in Hecate, it was when ByuN was ahead. Like, ByuN had just denied the 4th base, if I remember correctly, and he had traded well against the army of Astrea, and he was still just rallying across the map. Like, it was, man, game 1 was wild. it was crazy. Here we go. As the probe is going to be locked into the main. We'll see if Astrea does opt to recall or not. The Reaper has arrived, it's going to go down. Probe will not be saved. And across the map we do have Astrea just getting to its own opener as well. As a reminder, Game 1, Astrea did open up Stargate into Oracle. Game 2 was 3-gate Blink with Twilight Council. Here in Game 3, what do we have? Also, I should talk about the map a little bit as well, because I'm sure there are some of you that maybe have not seen El Dorado because it is so often vetoed. But welcome to the new Golden Wall. It is a smaller map than Golden Wall. Bear that in mind. Golden Wall, of course, was a very similar map to this many years ago in the ladder map pool, as we do have 2 gold bases. 2 gold bases here at the center. They are delayed and blocked off by these mineral patches. Likewise, you can also harass from the opposite end of the wall, as this entire southern section is walled off by minerals. Gold minerals, regular mineral patches, even we have a thin mineral patch here in the center of the map as well, so you have to mine through these patches to gain access to this southern half. Similar to Alkiona in that sense, I suppose. And because there are minerals here at the natural location, you can take your 3rd at the triangular 3rd location instead. We also have seen a lot of players take their 4th bases as the gold on the other side. Meanwhile, Hellion does get into the mineral line. Probes are going down. Oh my god. 2 probe kills. 3 probes do fall. And do we get eyes on the take of choice? ByuN, he does not. He does not get behind the mineral line. The Twilight Council is unscouted. As it is going to be, once again, Blink. ByuN, for the time being, is in the dark. Does have a Widowmine here in the center of the map. And can he catch out the Adept? Oh! Ooh, does get the Adepts. Nicely done. Will be cleaned up for it, though. So Widowmine goes down. And back at home, we do see ByuN embracing his 1-1-1. Is getting to tank production. We have a tech lab on the way after the medevac. This could be tank into Banshee. Tank Banshee has been very trendy, especially on this map as well, because of the short resistance by air. Short resistance by air means that Banshee aggression can be favored here on El Dorado. Ooh, going for the Raven though. No Banshee. Is going Raven first, which actually follows what we've seen from ByuN every game so far. Widowmine drop into Raven harass. Sorry, I didn't say Raven instead of Banshee, but into Raven harass. So there's going to be Ravens here for ByuN. Extra Vax is on the way. The hallucination does confirm the add-ons, does confirm the production as well. Astrea is aware. And we'll see if Astrea can minimize his losses. As ByuN does move out, he has that fast tank. So this army, even though it's small, it can actually pose quite a threat here to Astrea. As ByuN is sharking around. Runs into the Stalkers. Oh! Does run in. I love this little maneuver here from ByuN just for the Zelnaga. But the probe gets saved, and Astrea, he will shut that Marine down as well. Never mind. It was a cheeky move by ByuN, but Astrea, he does take control of that center area of the map, of the Zelnaga. Moving up with this probe, I imagine for some spotter pylons as well. And ByuN is building up towards Stim. He pulls back with the tank, Astrea getting his 3rd base up and running. Forge on the way. Blink into charge. Okay, so we have the answer here. Astrea, last game, if you remember, Astrea, he rushed into Colossus. He went into a faster Robo, into a Bay, into Colossus production. This time, he's going to be delaying splash damage in favor of a mass Swarm Toss style. Blink Stalker into mass Charge Lot. As that's a lot of gateways, and no further tech yet. This can eventually lead into something like Storm and Archons, but for the time being, and for the near future, it's going to be very Zealous and Stalker heavy. As we get the auto turret into the main, 3 probes go down. Likewise, drop here on the right-hand side, but there is an army in position. Astrea is ready. He was ready. Is going to be distracted by the Raven, which means the third base is exposed. We'll be defending here in the Natural instead. We'll see what ByuN can accomplish. He's waiting for Stim. Stim is finishing up in a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, the Bay has been thrown down. So it's not going to be into Storm and into Archons. Instead, it will eventually lead into Colossus. Eventually into Colossi. We can see Astrea, he's mining through these mineral patches here to expand at the gold. Double Drop gets spotted. Astrea going for his own Zealot Harass. Mentioned earlier how charge is already done. Oh no! But the Prism is going to be spotted. And here comes the Stim, and the Prism will barely escape. Gets over to the other side of the wall. Does get away. That was almost disastrous. Likewise, ByuN getting his third on location. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the fastest third base that ByuN has gone for the entire series. Like, Game 1 and Game 2, ByuN was very aggressive on 2 bases and delayed his third. This time, less so, which I do appreciate. Meanwhile, the drop gets cleaned up, gets 5 probe kills. ByuN pulling back. Auto charge into the natural way. Not bad, getting 5 workers, but did cost him 2 medevacs though. Did cost him a big chunk of bio. The base is now finishing, and with this faster third, we can now embrace the mid-game in a less chaotic game state than previously. ByuN, though, still being active. Prism towards the north. War Prism is on the way towards that third. ByuN doesn't commit to any aggression, he pulls back, which means he should be somewhat in position to defend. So Astrea has to hold off for a moment. Colossus are on the way. Let's go 1, soon to be 2. And again, ideally, Astrea shouldn't pull the trigger here until ByuN is active somewhere else. I mean, especially considering that the Observer does have eyes on the main army. He did have eyes on the main army. Observer gets sniped. Keen eyes are out of ByuN. We do have a replacement Observer, though. Does have eyes on the main army. So Astrea, he sees the move out. He sees the move out. Prism is going in. We have Zealots towards the towards the third. Prism into the main. And Astrea's main army is trying to keep up with the army of ByuN. Does drop in. As Zealot is going to bleed out 6 SCVs so far. But the Vikings will hunt down the Prism in the main. Astrea's going to have to unload. Main army pushing in. Does Astrea get the tank? He wants it. Oh, doesn't get it though. It doesn't get the tank. It does survive. Astrea backs off. Gets 10 SCVs. The Prism escapes? How? The War Prism does get away. Somehow, some way. Does escape the clutches here of the Vikings. 12 SCVs in total. Not bad. ByuN is yet to commit. He does pick up, does unload. The Observer did spot that. And as the dust settles, as we're embracing a 4-base economy, Astrea is now being able to afford a second Robo and now Disruptors. So once again, Colossus into Disruptor. Now, this is a bit of a weaker composition nowadays. Well, it's a little bit different here. There's a bit of a give and take. In general, though, I would say it's a bit of a weaker composition here than it used to be, just because the Disruptors no longer one-shot Marauders and Immortals. I mean, they never did. But Marauders, they can now survive these Novas. And that's a lot of Marauders. So what you used to accomplish with 1 Nova, now you have to do with 2. We'll see how Astrea can keep up with this. Novas still one-shot Marines, and they still one-shot Ghosts. Bear that in mind. Stims in. Does Stim in. Massive EMPs. Novas go up. No connections. Astrea, he has to retreat. Does have to back off. Because that the dynamic is a little bit different, and a player like ByuN can now take a risk and try to dive on these disruptors a little bit easier. Potentially, I should say. So the armies are facing off. Astrea establishing, sorry, ByuN establishing a fourth. Astrea moving forward. Astrea, both armies are maxing out. We'll come down to the EMPs and to the Novas. EMPs do connect. They strip away the shields here with the Zealots of most of the Stalkers. Oh, there it goes off. Oh, oh my god, takes down most of the ghosts. Massive connection. The ghosts go down. There's one ghost left out of like 8. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that was a brutal fight, and ByuN, he plummets in supply. Oh my god, the final ghost goes down. Colossus falls as well. But the split there was lackluster for ByuN. As we mentioned, Novas, they no longer one-shot Marauders, but Ghosts are still one and the same. That was brutal. That was how many Ghosts going down? That was 8. Yeah, 8 Ghosts falling in the one fell swoop. Now, Astrea did lose his Colossi, so he's backing off. Storm is now on the way, +1 air attack, Fleet Beacon. Astrea is getting ready for Sky Toss, taking the center gold base as well. Let's go. Going for the gold. Nice snipe there on the Disruptor. There it goes up. Gets a couple of Marines. But this tells us, of course, that Astrea is not going for the kill. Even though he did trade well and did out-trade ByuN, he backs off and he's getting further ahead tech-wise. ByuN, I mean, and economically as well. Getting more bases, getting a better economy, and being able to afford Sky Toss as a result. He's working towards Tempest and Carrier. There's going to be a period in time before he gets there where maybe ByuN can break through. Storm is done. Never goes up. Grazes 3 of those Marauders. They do survive. They'll be topped up. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Second Stargate as well. The Sky Toss is almost there. Likewise, ByuN is unaware of that center gold. Likewise, Astrea hasn't mined from it yet. Oh, Disruptor goes down. Nice snipe. Disruptor falls. Astrea going for the feedbacks instead. Ooh. Does feedback most of the ghosts. Every single ghost even. So very nice pickups. As Astrea, he's just buying time. He has no intention of pushing past the halfway mark. He's just buying time here for the Tempest. As Tempests are on the way. And honestly, this is an amazing map for Sky Toss because of the terrain itself. I mean, there's just a natural defense here, a natural wall that you can use to your advantage. Where you can just shell away at the main base or the natural or even this gold with something like Tempest. So that is a scary thought. There it goes up. Ooh, no big connection though. Nice splits out of ByuN. He's diving in. Another over there. Massive storm. ByuN, he does take it to the face. He has to back off. And Astrea, he can take advantage here of this position once he gets there, though. Still making 4 Tempests at a time. Thankfully, ByuN is already making Vikings. Is amassing Vikings as we speak. Scan reveals Tempest. ByuN now knows. I do think it's going to be on ByuN here to try to open up these attack paths. Open things up, throw down more turrets. You could also argue that these Tempests are revealed a little bit early on. They could have been maybe rallied back at home to just build up over time, but have since been revealed. Ooh. Vikings, they don't yet scout to the gold base. Is now saturated. He's getting up and running. Astrea is getting away with it. I mean, that's why he has such a large mineral bank. So far, nice shots going off here on the army. ByuN, he does scouts. He's aware. Yeah, he's now aware. He will bring this down. There's no saving this base. Astrea has to back up. And defending these southern bases are going to be that much more difficult here for Astrea. Does rotate, though. Does rotate over. I mean, this area is just so much more wide open. Jeez, how many Vikings is that? 14! 14 Vikings! It's crazy. EMP goes up. The Soul Zone gets thrown down, and ByuN has to back off here, has to respect it. That's EMP on the mothership. Will survive. As the Vikings, they get a little bit ambitious. They take down one of the Tempests. They go for the mothership as well. Nice pickups. The flanking storms, though. Yeah, the storms are insane. Tempest coming for a flank as well. Here come the Zealot reinforcements. And has ByuN overextended? Looks like he has. Yeah, massive pickups. Leading out Ghosts, leading out Vikings. He was lured in. At the same time, Zealot Robot doesn't get much done. But ByuN did kill 15 probes. But Astrea, he has a bank. He's been building up this bank. And did maintain most of those Tempests as well. Likewise, ByuN has now finally saturated that gold. But Astrea can punish it. Yeah, he sees the mining. He rotates and he will deny mining here at the gold. Going for the CC. There is no technology stabilizers. Oh, Tempest have to be careful. Astrea calming down. ByuN takes up left. Astrea does scouts. Vikings, they go for the dive. They get 2 Tempests. Likewise, nice switch here against the Novas. Ooh, takes another Nova to the face. Storm on the Vikings. Vikings are going down. Astrea forces back the army. There's how many Vikings left? 9. Not bad. Still 9 Vikings. But ByuN, he resaturates the gold. He's maintaining himself. Despite these losses, ByuN, he still has a comparable army. Astrea does have to retreat for a moment here. Still very intense. ByuN going for the other center base. Oh my god. Storm's brutal. Rocks are knocked down. ByuN rotating over. As ByuN rotates, this northern expansion is going to be falling here. That's a lot of Zealots. And it's a CC. It's an orbital. It's not a planetary. Mine shots, they get baited out. The Zealots, they clean up. Ooh, and this base is exposed. We even have a storm. Oh my god. Storm goes off. Main armies do clash. Again, Astrea Hill's focusing elsewhere with the disruptors. They get caught out. Massive pickoffs. Astrea Hill's focusing on that northern fight. That's every disruptor falling, and ByuN is going for the dive. He's going for the kill. Vikings chase down the Tempest. The main army goes for the gold. 14 SCVs go down across the map. The Vikings are cleaned up, but they take down most of the Tempest. And the Nexus falls as well. Nice clean up here out of ByuN. Does come at a cost, though. As both players are hurting. Astrea did lose all of his splash damage. I mean, now there's no Storm, or Colossus, or Disruptors. He's playing with fire. He has to calm down. There we go. Going into Mass Archon. Okay. Building up his Archon count. I'm still concerned about the amount of EMPs that ByuN is available. Scans ahead of time, spots the army. I mean, Astrea needs something. And it takes a while here for Disruptors to build up. Oof. It's a first Storm. So far, so good. Both armies are maxed. Armies are maxed out. Astrea, he now has 4 Disruptors. How many Robos does he have? Only 2. At this point, we need like a 3rd and 4th Robo. At this point. More Robos would have been required. Nova's going up. These connections. Oh my god, the coasts go down. At least some of them. As well, like 4 ghost kills. But there's still just a wave of bio. 15 probes go down. Astrea, he's hurting economically here. Oh my god, massive storm though. Storm on the Marines, there's no other storm left. Tempests are getting low. But where are the Vikings? 0 Vikings remaining here for ByuN. Tempest taking kites. And they can trade well here. Despite that, though, he still loses the mineral line. As 22 probe kills, even more. As ByuN is now making 6 Vikings at a time. Nice EMP. Oh, the tempers are so low. Oh my god. That may just be too much. So many tempers go down. Yeah, Astrea, he stopped kiting for a moment there. He stops kiting, and it looks like ByuN, he will put a point on the board. He finally overwhelms. Breaks through the main army, denied so much mining, so much bases. And ByuN has done it. We have a series, Pappy. He breaks through. Gets into one of the last mining bases here of Astrea, as he's mining out everywhere else, or just no mining, period. There's only a handful of Tempest left here for Astrea, and ByuN can just shut down all these bases. Just rotate, go for the next side. Despite the Nexus, there's just no economy, no mining. More Tempest falling. Oh, gets another. So the Tempest lands in the EMP, brutal EMP on the High Templar. More High Templar coming in, but there's no Storm. Yeah, there's no Storm. And GG gets called. There's just not enough. ByuN will fight back, we'll put a point on the board, and we have a series. GG. Let's go. Oh my god. GG, well played. Despite that, that was still a very, very intense game number 3. Astrea had his own good moments, don't get me wrong. He was able to build up to a mass Tempest count. But there was that key moment, I feel, when, if you remember, Astrea went for the Zealot run-by with the Storm, which we were also like focusing the camera on. And it was in that moment that ByuN dove on the Disruptors. And then we panned over, and it clearly looked like Astrea was also being a little bit too attentive to that Northern harass, and he got caught out. He got caught with his pants down. That was the moment where Astrea lost all of his Disruptors, and he never really recovered from that moment. Lost the Disruptors, he lost the expansion right after that as well. That's when he lost control of the center of the map, as he was paying attention elsewhere, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Ooh. We do have a back and forth, and we're getting ready for game number 4. The question becomes, though, what map? Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? Cast a curseless by mentioning the reverse sweep. But we want the ace match, though. That's what we want, more games. We're greedy like that, man. We want at least a game 5. At least. Here we go. As looks like we're still deciding our next map. There we go. Do have our lobby, and our map of choice is going to be Ley Lines. Okay, Ley Lines is likewise a very defendable map. We have seen many a player defend against aggression here on 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. We have seen even a split map scenario on Ley Lines as well. It's a smaller map, but because of all the choke points and all the ramps, I mean, we even featured Astrea earlier on this map against YoungYakov, if you recall, where Astrea was able to survive the all-in of YoungYakov and eventually outpace him. But we'll see if ByuN calms down. Like, ByuN has been so aggressive in Game 1 and Game 2. Game 3, ByuN went for a more macro approach. Could do the same here in Game 4. Could do the same. We'll see. Here we go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing himself. Currently teamless, but currently deserving to be on a team. Clearly, he's been popping off as of late, and he's still 1 game away from becoming this week's Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. Hello, Mr. Astrea. So he does dip in, going for the probe scout across the map. Now, every game so far in this series, ByuN has gone double gas, and it looks like that will still be the case. That will continue here, as a second gas gadget has been thrown down, and Astrea does confirm. Astrea, he does confirm the 2 gas opener. Is aware. Now, we saw in Game 1, this led into a triple Widowmine drop. Game 2 was a double Widowmine drop, and Game 3, this led into an early tank move out, if you recall. It was like 1 Widowmine into a tank. Oh my god, as the probe goes down! That should not have happened. That's a bit of an earlier loss there for Astrea. Being a little bit cheeky there, trying to get that SCV. Does delay the racks by a couple of seconds, but does go down. With that, he does send out his second probe. Second worker moves out. Reaper's on the way for ByuN. And behind this, ByuN is going for the factory, a little bit further back. And Astrea has to try to confirm that follow-up. Whether it's going to be the reactor, whether there's that CC or not. Reaper is scouting, and no shot. ByuN, he finds it! He finds the second probe. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, brutal loss there for Astrea. Second probe goes down. And ByuN can now expand. He can now expand freely, and Astrea is going to be further in the dark. ByuN is scouting, looking for any kind of proxy, any aggression. Does check the linear third. And we get eyes on Astrea's tech of choice. It is going to be a Twilight Count. Okay. It's going to be Twilight Council into Blink, I would imagine. So once again, a Blink-based opener out of Astrea. We go. See some people talking about Tempest in the chat. I mean, I'm not opposed to Astrea's Skytoss transition. As he was being very efficient with the Tempest, it was just it was just a really rough moment in the center map when he lost momentum. Otherwise, I do think that he could have continued to deny the gold. Definitely. Last, it wasn't the case, of course. It wasn't the case. As the armies, they do trade in the center of the map. ByuN behind this. Still just expanding, getting to his own Widowmine drop. Once again, 2 Widowmines, one at the natural, one in the main. Soon to move out. ByuN will reposition. Astrea does confirm, of course, the expansion. Astrea will intercept the Reaper. Up! Will deny the scouts. Won't quite shut it down, though. Astrea, he wants it. Does want the Reaper. Reaper gets away. Meanwhile, ByuN moving out. Ooh, not just with Widowmines this time, with Marines as well. Okay, so a little bit more committed here by ByuN. With the addition of these Marines, ideally the Widowmines don't go off in the mineral line. Ideally, they actually go off on the Adepts and Stalkers, and the Marines instead are going to be the ones focusing on probes. Focusing down those workers. We'll see. As ByuN does make his way towards the natural, Reaper into the main. Does distract us, pull Astrea away into the main base as well. And probes are going to fall. Do have a reinforcing a Stalker. Once again, the ideally Widowmine does want to zone away the Stalkers. Stalkers are forced back. Ooh, 1 Widowmine shot goes off on a probe. Not ideal. 3 probe kills, and ByuN, he will get away. We'll get the hell out of here, and he will not lose a single unit. Very nicely done. Very efficient, I should say. ByuN gets 3 probes, gets out. Astrea looking for that drop. Takes a third. Does take a third base. Once again, 3-gate blink to a third. Adept shades into the main. Gets eyes on the production. Confirms that there's no 3cc follow-up. And that there are additional tanks. Okay, much earlier tank production here from ByuN. He's already got 2. Meanwhile, Astrea, instead of going for charge, if you recall last game, Astrea, he went from blink into charge into +1, went for a delayed Colossus. This time, much faster. This time, much faster Colossus production from Astrea. Is going to be more defensive as a result. But ByuN is already moving out with their first 2 tanks. The tanks are spotted. Oh, it might be too late to make that first immortal. Wouldn't mind drop here into the natural. Astrea does pull away. So far, both players micro on 2 fronts. Astrea, he does pull back, picking up a couple of Marines here and there. Oh, nice blinks. Tries over the mine shots. Ooh, but 1 Stalker goes down. Astrea, he does hold on to the natural. At the same time, ByuN trying to maneuver here with his main army. Now up to 3 tanks. Astrea trying to keep up with the rotations. Oh, finds a medevac. Not bad. Medevac goes down. ByuN getting his 3rd on location. So it looks like ByuN has no real intention of pushing into the 3rd base. He's expanding and hoping to try to cache the army in the center of the map. The observer does confirm. Astrea, he spots this. Oh! Observer gets shut down. Nice pick off by ByuN. ByuN is slowly pushing forward, getting within range of the Stalkers. Ooh, tank blows go up. 1, 2 Stalkers go down. Very nice pick offs here by ByuN. Nice attention to detail. Meanwhile, the first Colossus has arrived. Extended lance on the way. Now we see Astrea going into delayed charge and +1. We'll get there. This charge is done and +1 is now going to be on the way. And ByuN, he's just vying for map control. Astrea confirms. Astrea does get eyes on the 3rd CC, so he knows that ByuN is being more economic. Very similar to last game, and that's a green light for Astrea to expand. So Astrea does take a 4th. ByuN is still being active though, he's not being passive. We have a drop threatening the natural, and likewise the main army pushing in towards the 4th. Pylon does confirm. Astrea, he responds. Doesn't have much to work with though. The tanks are sieging up. ByuN not fast enough. He has to back up. Sorry, Astrea not fast enough, he has to back up. ByuN is in position. Slowly pushing forward. The tanks, they're getting within range of the Nexus. Oh, the bait on the wind mine. Nah, not quite. ByuN does unburrow the Zealous. They dive on the army. They're getting on top of the tanks. The tanks, they will go down. They get a couple of volleys up. But Astrea's holding. Astrea does barely hold. Ooh, we still had to cancel the expansion though. On the one hand, that is a good pickoff by ByuN, canceling the 4th. On the other hand, it did cost him 3 tanks. That was an expensive trade for ByuN. Losing 3 tanks for a base. From here, he's going to be reinforcing once again, hoping to keep up the momentum and deny the 4th base for a 2nd time. He is spotted though. Astrea's getting ready. Astrea's in position. ByuN splits up. Splits off into 2 armies. Observer is spotted. Astrea does have enough to collapse on this, so ByuN has to be careful. And as ByuN distracts, he slips into the natural, and Astrea, he's out of position. Goes for the warp in, goes for the recall as well. Zealots are cleaned up. Pylon goes down, depowers the robo. And this is a brutal trade here for Astrea. At the same time, the 4th base is cancelled. Ay, ay, ay. Astrea, he just cannot expand. And he's being pulled apart. It's just becoming too much at this point. Colossus goes down. And ByuN, he's getting out of control. Going for the final Colossus. He wants it. Up. Up. He doesn't quite get it, though. Doesn't get it, but denying the 4th base is still enough damage. As now ByuN has an economic lead, and that's why ByuN is skyrocketing ahead in supply. Worker counts are comparable here, but, I mean, mules. You know, ideally, the Protoss wants to be up a base compared to the Terran. That's not happening here. As yeah, Astrea, he's just being bullied back. He just cannot expand. Goes to the force fields. Colossus goes down. Massive overextension. The force fields are buying a lot of time, but ByuN, he just drops over. He picks up. He drops over the wall instead. Going for the Stalkers. GG gets called, and ByuN snowballs out of control. He will take game 4, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We are going to game 5 again. Astrea just had a really hard time keeping up with the movement of ByuN. The initial defense was good, don't get me wrong, but we saw that ByuN, he was able to split off, he was able to catch Astrea out of position multiple times, and Astrea, he was just spread a little bit too thin between his 4-base setup. Barely could not keep up, barely could not hold on, and with that, we're going all the way to the final game of the series, and of the tournament. We're going to be loading into Snowpiercer. Oh boy. Snowpiercer is up next. It is the, I believe, largest map in the new map pool. Very large map, and there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, it takes longer for the army to move out, so longer for reinforcements to arrive. True. On the other hand, though, because it's so large, the bases are also quite spread out as well. They are spread out, so I do feel like we might see a similar dynamic where Astrea is going to try to defend his 3rd and his 4th, and it's going to be on ByuN to pull him apart. That can change, though, if Astrea gains map control instead. If Astrea is the aggressor, we could see something different. I would not be opposed to seeing something like a Stargate opener here on Snowpiercer. At the same time, ByuN has yet to open up into a Rax Expand. He's going double gas every single game. He's been going for these more aggressive and more assertive styles, more assertive builds. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say what to go for here. There's a lot of mind games, I feel, just because of how aggressive ByuN has been and what Astrea wants to try to get away with. We'll see. We shall see. Oh. Also watching Snowpiercer, the class struggle train movie. Is that the movie where the train has like different like levels of like of class? Yeah. Oh no! Hold on. I'm not playing against ByuN. Get me out of here. I haven't seen that, I've only heard of it. It's like post-apocalyptic, right? It's like a nuclear apocalypse where like there's a train that can't go less than 70 miles per hour, otherwise it's gonna explode. It's gonna the train just keeps going. It can't stop. There's no brakes on this train. Let's go. So getting into the ace match. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Snowpiercer, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion, fighting back in that last game and forcing the ace match. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. He had such a strong start to the series with a 2-0 lead, but now he's been brought to the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Astrea. That is a quote from the movie. I'm tired of these goddamn snakes, this goddamn train. I'm paraphrasing. True. They had to get to the tip of the train to cast the ring into the fire. Let's go. And then he found out he was his father. So, oh no. So we are settling in. For now, we do have no crazy proxies, no crazy openers here. We do have everything back at home. Just a double gas opener once again out of ByuN. Likewise, Astrea going for the gate expand. So far, so good. Exactly. It's a sequel to Willy Wonka. Ah, I see. Astrea does pull away. This time does not lose the probe early on. Thank God. Does pull back, and again, we can embrace Snowpiercer. Again, these bases, they are, in a way, I want to say they're a little bit secure in the fact that we do have a lot of ramps in position, we do have some choke points as well, but as we mentioned before, they are quite spread out as well. So we saw how effective ByuN could be with his multi-pronged aggression. We saw that in the previous game on ley lines, just pulling Astrea apart left and right, and I feel like he'll have the opportunity to do so here as well. We'll see if Astrea can keep up. For the time being, Stargate. Let's go. Stargate opener out of Astrea. This makes the most sense on a larger map. Stargate is more viable. The reason for this, Stargate openers do leave you vulnerable. They leave you vulnerable to early game aggression, to early game move outs, but the likelihood of that happening here on Snowpiercer is that much smaller. Or even if they try to pull that off, it's going to be less effective, ideally. So it is going to be Stargate play into, I imagine, Phoenixes. Meanwhile, double Adept into the main. Ooh, sorry, double Reaper into the main, but the Adept is in position. And Astrea does hold. Does hold on. ByuN rotating back around. Behind this, getting to his own Widowmine drop. 1-1-1 into Widowmines, into Medevac. The Reaper Hellion looking for a way in. And they do get into the natural. Do threaten the mineral line. Shield Battery will keep all the probes alive. And ByuN gets the hell out of there. Does pull back. Pulls away. Greatest movie filmed is District 9, besides District 9. I mean, I love prawns. I love them. But it's so good. It is a good movie. It is good. It's a classic. Smooch. Did they end up making like an actual Halo movie yet? I feel like no, they made a TV show, right? Like From Dusk Till Dawn or something. It was Master Chief against vampires. As ByuN is going to be calming things down, going for his mind drop, of course. No. What are movies anymore? As Astrea going for his third, Reaper Hellion will scout, will confirm. And I assumed it was going to be a Stargate Phoenix opener, but no, Stargate into Oracle instead. Okay. Never mind. Is going to Oracles, does get a scout, does confirm the at least production setup here of ByuN. What's it called? Breaking Dawn? I don't remember what the Halo show was called. Aye. As for now, we are settling in. And again, because it's a bit of a larger map, there's that much less aggression as well. I mean, ByuN, he opted not to go for his drop yet. There we go. Widowmine drop now moving out. For the most part, though, staying back at home. Astrea does gain map control. Did go for later Blink, but Blink is now finishing up. And Astrea, his goal here is to contain ByuN onto bases. As a result, though, as he's focusing here outside of the natural, Astrea will miss the Widowmines. Widowmines, they do get across the map. From dawn till dusk, it's just a guy working at the office. Oh, relatable. Oh, no. Not like this. Smooch. I mean, I'd watch that. Dawn till dusk. Featuring Danny Trejo, of course. Has to feature him. As Widowmine drop does come in, ooh, does pull away in time. Likewise, Widowmine drop into the main, but so far Astrea, he is handling himself quite well here. Oh my god! Did I speak too soon? Not quite. Does pull away in time. Likewise, Stasis here on the main army will delay the push. And Astrea does hold. 2 probes so far for Widowmine. The other did escape. But the Stalkers are ready. Phoenix on the way as well. Astrea, he's learned his lesson. He's going to deal with these Widowmines one way or another. Likewise, working towards Storm, building up High Templar energy as well. Storms are set up. And the game is going to slow down. We have a third CC on the way. So despite the intensity, despite the chaos of this series so far, and again, there's been almost non-stop action in most of these games. Here in the ace match here on Snowpiercer, we're calming things down. We're easing into a 3, now 4 base setup for Astrea. Likewise, third CC almost done for ByuN, taking up into a Ghost Academy as well. We're gearing up. We are gearing up. I feel seen and he hates it. What do you mean? What? Oh no. It's just we've gone down a rabbit hole of like referencing movies and now we don't even know what we're referencing anymore. Smooch. Thankfully nothing too insane has been happening. It's okay, it's okay. ByuN does take his third. And now we kind of embrace it more back and forth. I mean, in this kind of game state here, especially with how, in a sense, passive we have been, we could try to cut some extra corners as well. I mean, the armies are about to clash. ByuN does move out, knocking down those rocks. Astrea does spot this, is aware. Moving in with that High Templar. He's ready with the storms. Likewise, no ghost with the army, not yet. Up. I'm ready for it. Likewise, Astrea holding his breath. Waiting for his moment as well. The Bay is on the way. Second Robo into Colossus, into Disruptor. ByuN rotating around. So just posturing back. And with 4 High Templar behind this, I don't really see ByuN being able to push in. I mean, does have the EMP. Does fight for map control. Back at home, making 2 Colossus at a time. Astrea securing his army. Gets a revelation off. Oh my god! The flanking storm! Grazes the army here of ByuN. I didn't even notice a High Templar. Does connect. ByuN, he gets the hell out of there. He's like, hey, I want none of this. I'm good. Pulls back and he's just gearing up and getting into additional Ghost production and Vikings as well. Vikings are building up. Astrea going for a Zealot run by, but ByuN is already back at home. Astrea likewise pulls away. And once we get into those 6 gases, once we get into our 4th and soon to be 5th base, that's when we can start taking even further. For now, both armies are about to max. About to max out. Disruptor production has begun for Astrea. Disruptors are on the way. 4th CC. Going to be floating over. And it's all going to be about positional play here at this point. ByuN, he has his sensor towers. Astrea, he has spotter pylons all over the place. Observers as well. We'll see who catches who. Oh. Observer gets caught out. Spotter Marine. Astrea rotates around. He goes for the 4th. But ByuN is ready. Nice feedbacks. Storm as well. The High Templar will fall for it. So a bit of a trade. Meanwhile, Sensor Tower does spot the army rotation. Observer does get away just barely. Oh, the ghost. He gets 1. 1 ghost goes down. But especially with this bank, this is where I would want to see this set up here for Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. Now pushing in. Zealous, they hit the natural. ByuN keeps up. Meanwhile, the 3rd base is exposed. The mineral. Oh my god, the mineral line. Storm takes down 7 SCVs. Oh, Nova goes off. Massive connection. And the splits are not there for ByuN. But does he need them? He sims in. Oh my god. He sims and he wins. He breaks through. Likewise, a flanking storm. The army is actually over-simmed. Jesus. Another storm. Astrea backs off. And we calm down. Now, in the midst of all of this, ByuN did lose half his mineral line, so he does come out worse for wear. But he did reset the Colossus counts, Disruptors, and High Templar. Astrea only escapes with the Gateway Army. This is also where I said before, where I would appreciate something like a 3rd and 4th Robo, just to reinforce that much faster. As Astrea has to start from scratch. Down to 2 Disruptors. So we get another good storm here. Does land. Armies are rotating. The sensor tower wasn't rebuilt, so Astrea actually isn't spotted. Uh-oh. ByuN doesn't know. Doesn't spot the armies. Does scan though, does spot the army. Massive EMP. Nervous go up. When they do connect. Brutal connections here. ByuN once again, he takes to the face. The surround! Zealot's coming from behind. We have landed Vikings. That's the main army. The storms are brutal, and ByuN loses everything. The Vikings, the ByuN, GG gets caught in one fell swoop. ByuN gets surrounded, and Astrea will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. I mean, again, the game was very intense. We saw a slow build-up, I will say, slow build-up. It was very tense when it came to the 2 players facing off and maneuvering and trying to outposition each other. The fight was quite close, is what I will say. The initial fight, where Astrea lost all of his high-tech units, where ByuN lost half his mineral line. From there, we were still kind of neck and neck, but alas, Astrea, he got the better of ByuN. As we mentioned, the sensor towers were not rebuilt, and ByuN was not fully aware of where the army was unprepared for that surround, whether it was the storms, whether it was the zealots as well. GG. GG, well played. GG, well played. Astrea, he will take it in the end 3-2. Congratulations. Just messaging the players. Just messaging the players here. And if you want to help support these 2 players, you can do so via Matcherino. !Matcherino in the chat. Don't forget. Astrea, he said, La tortuga es mío, papi. Oh, let's go. True, but GG, well played. Again, !Matcherino, you can help fund and help boost the prize pool for our players. As a reminder here for the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, we actually pay out top 4. Top 4 players do get paid out, not just top 2, so we do spread the love here to our semi-finalists. Likewise, you can also support us via Patreon as well. Patreon does not fund this tournament, it funds the Sparkling Tuna Cup instead, but you can support our tournaments that way nonetheless. Oh, GG. And again, there were so many people concerned about Astrea. They're like, yo, papi, he had a 2-0 lead. Reverse sweep? Question mark. Is it going to happen? Is it going to occur? I mean, almost, but nah. Have faith, papi. Have faith in Max Angel. GG. GG. Catching up. The caster avoids punishment. Oh, no. Not like this. He claims he wanted the ace match, but I feel like I've seen Astrea get reverse swept a lot. Could be wrong. I mean, it happens, right? And ByuN is good enough to pull something like that off as well. But, you know, we got the most out of it. GG, well played. Also, shout out to ByuN as well for competing as hard as he did, for making a series out of this, and for making the finals as memorable as it was. Again, I do recommend, if you missed out on the beginning of the series, I do recommend Game 1 and Game 2. The first 2 games were wild. I do feel like that was the highlight of the series. It slowed down a little bit more from there. But Game 1 and Game 2 definitely set a tone, and they set the pace for the series in the end, and I do recommend. Likewise, congratulations, of course, to Astrea. We have seen Astrea defeat ByuN before in these open cups. Like Astrea and ByuN, they've been going back and forth. If you haven't been able to watch some of those previous series, I do recommend some of the previous weeks of Tenacious Tussle, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Pigosaur Monday as well. Astrea and ByuN, they've actually been facing relatively frequently these past couple of weeks, whether it's in semifinals or the grand finals as well. So it's been cool to see them face off as often as they do. I don't know if I would say it's a rivalry yet. They don't face off as often as like Shin and ByuN, for example, but it's been you know, a more regular occurrence. And we'll see if that trend continues here. They do go back and forth. They do go back and forth in series. Clearly, you can see that they are comparable in skill to each other. And again, it's been great to see the rise of Astrea over the past couple of months. Just to reiterate, Astrea, he was in Korea a couple of months ago alongside many other players, alongside Clem, alongside Trigger. They were all staying in a team house together to kind of provide that training or that team house experience to focus on improving in StarCraft. And I mean, we saw some of that come into play when it comes to EWC, but I do feel like some of the residual effects of being in that environment, of that practice, of that kind of setup, of that scenario is now being shown here in the aftermath. After post EWC in the off season, we've seen Astrea and Trigger do so well. Clem, of course, has maintained himself 100%, but it's been great to see the growth of some of the NA players as well. GG, well played. They've been putting in a lot of work, a lot of time. I also don't want to take away from the fact that Astrea has been very active. He's been very active, especially in some of these tournaments that are unfriendly to NA players, like really NA, like really rough time zones or really time slots for NA, like the Sparkling Tuna Cup, for example. But Astrea has been on the grind. He has been grinding. He has been improving. And yeah, we'll see that come to fruition when it comes to when the next big event comes around. Next big events. I am still a little bit sad that we do have Home Story Cup around the corner and we don't have NA representation. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Trigger or Astrea are going to be a part of Home Story Cup. They are inviting some Koreans, but I don't think there's any, you know, NA players there. It would have been nice if there was like 1 or 2 NA players, you know, for that event. I know it is quite expensive, of course, to fly players over, but still would have been nice for some representation there. Regardless, Home Story Cup is going to be in a couple of weeks. We will be a part of it. Still yet to be confirmed, but keep an eye open for the CranKy Ducklings being involved in Home Story Cup in some way. Last Home Story Cup, we were the official B stream. We were the B stream for Home Story Cup. For the next one, might be the same. Might be the same thing. We might be another B stream for Home Story Cup. 2 in a row. Possible. Likewise, when it comes to other events that are occurring, Cheeseadelphia is on the horizon as well. That's going to be in like 3 weeks, question mark. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. We do have Cheeseadelphia. I do not know if Astrea is going to be there. I'm unfamiliar. I'm unfamiliar if he's going to be at Cheese or not, but I do know that I believe players like Vindicta, Epic, Dolan, there's going to be plenty of NA representation at that North American tournament. Whether or not Astrea goes there, yet to be determined. We will find out. We will see. But that's also going to be on the channel. I have confirmation that we will be casting Cheeseadelphia. That is going to be on the 7th of December. God damn it. I was like, yo, Astrea, you going to Cheese? And he's like, when is it? Don't know what it is, Pappy. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Oh, but thank you so much for the bits as well, for the 100 bits in the chat. God, Pappy, thank you for the bits. Do appreciate it. Oh. Not as calm as light. Oh no. Likewise, we also got another contribution here on Matcherino. Blakadoos. Oh my god, thank you, Pappy, thank you. God, thank you so much for the 10 USD on Matcherino. Again, all the money on Matcherino goes to the players. It's all you know, transparent there with where the money goes. Will all go to the top 4 players of the tournament. So thank you so much to Blakadoos, a a long-time supporter in the chat. Thank you, do appreciate it. And with that, that will conclude our broadcast for the morning. That's going to be concluding our broadcast. For those that are curious, what is the Tenacious Turtle? What's going on? This is a bi-weekly Open Cup. Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we do host this event. Does have a pretty hefty prize pool, of course, and does attract players from Korea, from Europe, from the Americas as well. Today we had a bit of a smaller bracket, a bit of a shorter broadcast, but still some amazing games nonetheless. Some amazing series, amazing turnout. Thank you so much for those that did take part here tonight. Do appreciate it. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with the next edition of the Turtle Tussle. But in the meantime, we have plenty of other content. We have Sparkling Tunica, we have the Wardy TV Mondays, we have the Pigo Store Mondays, alongside many other events as well. Quickly checking our calendar, our next stream is going to be in how many hours time? 7. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live on this channel, not with a tournament, but with a talk show. We have the podcast. Every single week we do host the podcast, just going over the week's tournaments and the week's results. We go over the news in StarCraft, most likely. What are we going to be going over this week? Just outside of just the tournament results, we have some player swaps, some roster changes. ZombieGov released an interview with Dongray Gu. True. DRG did have an interview that was released a couple of days ago. Most likely we're going to be talking about that as well. And any other content that's happening in StarCraft, any other news, we'll be going over. So again, that's going to be in 7 hours if you're interested for an SC2 news-related podcast, or podcast, if you will. Our next tournament cast is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be casting the StarCraft Evolution League Group C. If you're curious, what is the StarCraft Evolution League? StarCraft Evolution is a mod. It is a mod that brings together Brood War and SC2. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun at casting that event on a bi-weekly basis. There have been Open Cups, but now we have the full championship. An end-of-year championship for that mod. We covered Group A and Group B over the past couple of days. Yesterday and the day before that was Group A and B. Tomorrow is going to be Group C, and the day after that is going to be Group D. And then, over the weekend, is the playoffs. The playoffs of the StarCraft Evolution League. They're going to be live, not on this channel. We're going to be going over the replays afterwards, but plenty of content over the next week, mainly StarCraft Evolution focused. The next SE2 tournament that we cast is going to be on Sunday, is going to be Sparkling Tunica. So that is the plan. That is the plan for the next week. And then next week after that is Home Story Cup. Gee, it's right around the corner. Jesus. Oh my god. My sleep schedule is going to be ruined, Papi. It's going to be ruined. Oh, no. Home Story Cup is always brutal just because it's in the European time zone, but we'll make do. We'll make do. So, yeah, exciting stuff. Exciting times ahead of us. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support as well. And again, we'll see you guys when we see you, whether it's later tonight, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next week, whenever we see you. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Hope you enjoy your time here. You can follow us on the social medias. Exclamation mark socials in the chat if you want to tune in, if you want to check out our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We do stream both on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time. Because of that, VODs are available on YouTube immediately. So if you missed out, if you want to tune into some VOD content, we got you covered over on YouTube. YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I do apologize. I haven't been able to stream recently. Haven't been able to stream, haven't been able to ladder, just because we've been so busy casting. And on top of that, if you were here yesterday, you would know that I did order some new components to build a new PC. And it's coming together. Right now, I'm trying to set it up, and it takes a lot of time to set up. Oh, no. It's also a little bit loud, which is concerning to me. But I'm not using it yet. I have to like set up OBS and all the profiles and casting tool and StarCraft, and it's gonna take a while to set up. But once I do, it would hopefully benefit the stream. Hopefully, when it comes to the streaming, when it comes to rendering VODs, and when it comes to streaming other content as well. So yeah, exciting stuff. I haven't upgraded my PC since 2016, so it's been a while. it's been a while since the last upgrade. So exciting times to come. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.